Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic, TBC Classic, soon Wrath Classic, and its communities. I am Bobby, also known as Blazin' Bob, and today we're joined once again by Ryan, aka The Yip Show. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Bob.
You can't say once again when he just abandoned us last week.
I
did.
do it when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little weird for audio listeners. I'm used to seeing Yip's fun smile, but his camera broke, and so I'm looking at a weird picture, and I just, it's
Not
it's
a
definitely
weird
different.
picture. It's an incredible picture.
It is
When we
good.
felled, it was from when we felled Nefarian.
Yeah, the full
And
picture would be even better. I should have just got
No.
that from you prior to the podcast.
Oh
We could
yeah,
have put
because
that up.
it's like the Discord mini one. Yeah.
Yep, you just see your character,
very
but don't see
tiny.
Neff dead there.
Oh, well.
And we're also joined by Mel, aka Mellerina. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Yip's back, so that's a bummer, but other than that, everything's good in life.
Yeah, someone's here to lay down the cold hard truth about our healers again. Mel's nervous.
Okay.
You are such a liar. You were talking about missing Yip last week. You were upset about the whole time.
No. I did
Okay.
not talk about missing Yip. I talked about not wanting to do a show with just you. There's a big difference.
Those weird, obscure people who, for some reason, like Yip, will be listening in. And
Oh man! And once again, back is Melderon. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Bob. Thank you for asking. I am coming to you from sunny California.
What's the weather like there?
Oh man, it was like a 70-degree day again. Every day it seems like it's around that temperature. Maybe even a little higher actually. It's been warmer, 80s maybe some days. Yeah,
Nice.
not a cloud in the sky.
Miserable.
Are you starting to become a true Californian? Are you drinking your what they have there when I was there? Wheatgrass was really shots of wheatgrass. You know,
No,
you doing
I'm
that
not
yet?
drinking wheatgrass. I'm still trying to slowly kill myself with grease and fat. So I haven't actually transitioned to the. I mean, like, okay, I'm walking a lot more. I have a lot more passive exercise and stuff like that. I'm walking to work, so I am more conscious of my health. And maybe a year from now, I'm going to be like, having my beard and some kind of like beads on it or something, and drinking wheatgrass. Well, you never know. We'll see. Yeah.
We're gonna have to kick you off the podcast when that happens.
Yeah, I think I would
when you come on with the beads and the beard and the
Yeah.
wheatgrass drink, it's just that's it.
I
That's
think
it
I
for
might
us.
need an intervention at that point. Yeah.
Well, the food there is really good, though. I don't know if you've been trying out the different mom and pop places, but when I was there, the food was great.
Yeah, I have to say that like a lot of the local restaurants near me, I'm in like a little bit of a restaurant hub where I'm at. A lot of them are a little too pricey for me, but a lot of them aren't. So I'm going to a lot of like this. There's this one place, this like authentic Chinese place that's less than a block away from me. I go there at least once a week, man. It's really good. But yeah, food's definitely good.
You're talking about pricey. I remember I was waiting for an interview at like right outside CBS, and I went to this like salon or something to try and see if I could get a quick haircut. And I remember having to awkwardly leave immediately when I asked what the prices were, and he was like, "They start at $120, like $120."
Wow.
You're obviously a man.
Is there a Great Clips around here somewhere, or like?
Bro, that's why it's the only thing I thank myself for being bald. At least I do my own haircuts. Like I could never like the fact that paying that much money. I've seen more Ferraris in the last month than I've seen my entire life. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I used to see, I must have lived like somewhere near Shaq or worked somewhere near Shaq, but Shaq would be driving around in a different convertible constantly when I was there. But
Oh.
question for you about the restaurants real quick. I know there's a tangent, this is
Mhm.
kind of a big one, but
Yeah.
do they still do the thing where they put the A, B, C, and D health score ratings
Yes.
on the front door?
I have seen those. Yes.
All right, my advice to you, don't
Yeah.
count out the C and Ds.
Oh, bro, like I wouldn't like in Philly. I would go to places that were like holes in the wall just because I knew the food would be good, right? Like I haven't seen any maybe because I'm in West Hollywood, I haven't seen anything below an A. Like even like non-expensive restaurants all have A's, so I haven't even had a chance. But if I was in the if I was in the hood somewhere and I saw some like you know place that was like a B or a C, I would go in because I know it's probably really good.
I mean, yeah, it's like
Listen, B
it's
or
such
C
little
maybe.
things, like
yeah.
it's not like
D,
there's
though,
roaches
I
in
think there's
there.
fine print. I think there's fine print, right? You can probably look at what the
Like what
problems
actually
were.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but don't do that. That's like being like, what's in a hot dog? And then like,
Yeah.
nope, never mind. I don't want to come back. Right? Like, no.
Oh,
But
man.
like below C, I feel like you're really risking it.
I mean, there wasn't a lot of D's that I went to without a lot of people telling me check it out
Yeah.
anyhow. But yeah, it's really like little scores. Like it's not like a D has roaches. Like those are getting shut down. So
Yeah. Real quick, we went to lunch at work and there's this place called Creation. It's like a like a juice and smoothie kind of place. So we
You
where
are
you buy wheat
California.
grass. Yeah. So I was like, man, I'm hungry. I gotta find something quick. And it was right around the corner from my building. And I walked in, I got a wrap, like this, like maybe 5 inches long,
Mhm.
and a bottle of water, and it was $20.
Oh,
And I opened the wrap up, and it's not even bread; it's a lettuce wrap.
Oh no.
And I'm just like, I was so angry because I was just like, I didn't have time to go anywhere else, and I was just like kind of stuck. And man, like, I'll never go there again, ever again.
Oh
Like, I
my
don't care how
God.
good their food is, I'll never go there again. Like, it wasn't even that good, but like, I don't care how good their smoothies are or anything. I'll never go. Yeah,
You're like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I asked for a wrap, not a salad in a like roll
yeah,
form.
yeah.
Oh,
And it
that's
wasn't
good
even a big
stuff.
bottle of water. It was like a little, like I don't know, 6 ounce, like 8 ounce bottle of water. It was whatever.
Oh my God. Like 2
Oh.
drinks, you're done. You're like, that
Yeah.
was great.
Oh,
my turn.
man.
I've been going to Salad Works a lot. Every time I go to the office, we get Salad Works for lunch, pretty much. I wish they wouldn't ask if I want the roll. Can you just give
Yeah.
me the roll, please? Like, why are you making me do this? Why are you
They're
making
shaming
me
you.
ask for it? Yeah, like,
hey, do
they're
you want this roll?
you want this roll? Yeah, I want the roll. I'm paying $15 for a salad. Give me this stupid little roll with it.
You know,
Do the
this
damn
roll
roll.
is
I'll
just
go-
as many calories as your entire salad, right? Without dressing.
You realize a head of lettuce is $2. Like, why? How is the
Yeah.
salad so expensive?
It
Oh
makes
my
me think of that
God.
episode of South Park Yip where they go to the cable company and they complain and they
Yeah.
like drop the nipples and they start rubbing them.
Yeah.
It's almost like, do you want this bread? Oh yeah, you want those carbohydrates? Yeah. And just like,
I went
all right,
I went on a trip. One more thing.
Sorry,
I went on a
Bob.
trip with some friends. It was a work trip, and we were at this restaurant, and the girl was trying to be like good, and she orders this like chicken sandwich or something, and she was like, "Can I get a salad instead of the fries?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then they bring it out, and they bring it out with fries. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to tell them to bring you a salad instead?" She goes, "Melissa, when the universe gives you fries, you do not question it. You just eat them."
You just eat the
Like,
fries. Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fair."
Oh, that's
That's
great.
sick. You got to set up like a system at every restaurant to be like, okay, when I order salad, bring me fries, and all my friends
On
will think I'm-
accident.
Yeah,
So I can order really healthy and then actually just eat what I want to eat.
Yeah, she's
all
like,
right, Bob, start the podcast.
Melissa, all of the eyes were on me when I ordered. No one would have noticed if you just would have shut up.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's get back on task. All right, so this week's episode, we're going to get in housekeeping. Then we're gonna get into some new reviews that we got. We do have an email, but we're gonna put that on for next week. Then we're gonna do what have we been doing lately in WoW. Then we're gonna hit some raid progress. We're not gonna hit Zul'Aman though. We're going to save Zul'Aman for the discussion at the end, and we're going to do first impressions. So after raid progress, we'll do the news, then we'll go on to Zul'Aman, and that will be the show. So at the top of the show, I want to remind everybody we are now streaming live on twitch.tv/BlazinBob. That's BLAZZINBOB. Also, I want to give a shout out because the love just keeps pouring in on on benediction, and I don't know about Yip, but I kind of feel bad for any bad thing we ever said about the server because you guys just keep sending tells, and it's humbling. I had big shout out to Nidorian, who I talked to today, who just made my day. Like we talked for, I don't know, it's about a good like full size page of just tells back and forth, and just really nice things to say. And you all make it worthwhile. So thank you so much.
I do want to interject. Bob doesn't speak for all of us. I don't take back any of the trash I talked on Benedict. Blizzard's inactivity in the server problem is the only reason I'm on this server. And while it is great compared to the Stockholm syndrome mess that Whitemane was, I mean, being on a mega server is nice compared to what we're doing, and I do like the people that we've all met and talked to, but I'm not gonna forget the BGs, the endless BGs full of benediction AFKers.
Well,
Just because I'm not BGing right now.
So I don't know if that was just something that happened at the start, but I've had really good luck doing BGs with like mostly benediction people. I don't know if I'm getting a partial pre-mades or what, but
No,
like
honestly, I think that the honor changes from doing dailies and just the fact that everything's a little bit cheaper. I think people, when that change happened, I think a bunch of people who weren't PvPing were coming in and just like AFK PvPing. Anyone who actively PvP'd already had all their gear. The only
Right.
reason I had to go out was like for some new tank gear when I switched to my druid. So I think that like most of the people who care about PvPing were just already done. And then you just end up with these games full of people who are just like, it's easier now. I'll just go hang out in Eye of the Storm.
yeah.
And then of course Benediction being the biggest server, you get some
Well,
mostly from him.
fun fact that kind of goes into that is while I had this whole conversation with Nidorian, I was guarding the blacksmith on my rogue in a mostly benediction alliance BG, and we were 5 capping. So I mean, things were looking pretty good there. But yeah, so just wanted to give a quick shout out for that because I do really appreciate it, and all the kind words just kind of really humble me and makes me feel good, and we appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much.
Let's not ignore general chat and world chat and LFG and the absolute insanity and toxicity that exists on
I just have it
Benediction.
turned like it's on like a whole different screen. Like I have to click to see all that chat.
Yeah, I know. I just want to throw out that it is. Whitemane had a problem where everyone was always talking about how the server's dead. Everyone is just freaking out all the time on Benediction. Like it's absolute insanity. I feel like, but
yeah, I think like one of the biggest downside to being on a mega server is obviously how fast the chat moves, but when you guys do towers, I'm guessing for honor. Okay, I feel like every time I do it, there's some like dude, it's like edgelord who says something like it's not technically racist, but a 3-year-old can figure out that it's racist, right? Like, I feel like that happens every day, and I'm just like, can we? I don't know. Is there a way to like stop that from happening?
I just turn off general and trade. Like I don't even look
no, I'm
at
talking
general
about
chat.
In
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do
Yeah.
do it in say. That's a pain.
Yeah, it's not like directly racist, but like if you think about it for a millisecond, you realize that it's racist, right?
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's hard. I mean, just in games in general, unless you're explicitly saying like the most heinous things, it's kind of hard to get in trouble for what you say in games. I've been thinking lately.
Yeah.
Like unless you're actually saying something like an actual slur, you can pretty much say anything you want in a video game these days, and you don't really get
because
punished.
you're not trying to be a figure, right? Like the only reason the internet and like social media is somewhat like monitored is because it's attached to you as a person usually, right? And the game isn't. Like people can say whatever they want.
Yeah, I try to just overlook it and ignore it and not bring
me too.
attention to
It's
it,
just I don't know. It just gets you after a while.
It
From my
does.
experience, the only actions that happen, like like getting muted or something in this game will only happen from mass reporting and not from like you can't say something heinous to a couple of people and then have any action taken. But like for instance, we had someone say the R word from our guild in a general chat,
Oh
and
no.
I believe I you don't remember this? Casamoga.
Oh yeah. Okay, I thought you meant a different word. Yeah.
No. Yeah. And I like yeah, obviously that word is like people don't say it anymore, but I've seen it so many times and no one's ever been muted from it before, but I believe he was mass reported in a general chat and muted for it. So it's like I feel like it's all just the amount of reports somebody receives and not
Probably.
the
Well,
actual crime.
I do.
You're gonna have to tell me later what the R word is. 'Cause
It's
I
the
don't
one
know
you
what
hate
the R
in
word
your
is.
profession. It's the one you
Yeah, yeah.
specifically hate in your profession.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put it in chat just in case.
But,
No,
uh,
you know what
I
it is.
know.
Never mind. You know what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. Listen, it's just. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't say it. But I do think that like you can say it to one person, and I don't think Blizzard would ever do anything. It's only if you said it in general
Yeah.
and you get like 30 reports that anything ends up happening. And I feel like it's auto mod and not. I just don't feel like anyone's looking at.
I will
No,
say
no one
though,
is. Yeah.
like since getting to Benediction, and also I started doing it in BGs with like just the whiny babies that try and tell you how to play instead of actually playing the BG. Like,
Yeah. That spend the whole time typing instead of killing people.
yeah. My
Yeah.
my mute list has gotten like 5 times larger since going to Benediction. Like when I see someone say that stuff and say, because I don't look at general, but when I see that pop up and say, I'm just like, oh, and you get a mute, and you get a mute, and it just like starts making your life a lot easier. Like it's crazy because the BGs, it must always be the same people, and I don't remember their names because now that I have dozens muted, it's not happening in BGs. So I'm just like, wow, these guys
Yeah.
are the vocal minority, and most people aren't assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not.
I don't know the last time I talked in general chat, so I can see how that it's like just some real weirdos. But I got torn apart. I know it's still kind of a tangent. I got torn apart on Reddit the other day. I didn't even bring this up last time I was on the podcast because it was crazy.
Why are you going on Reddit?
Somebody just well, you know, it was a new thread of 10 minutes. Someone said, "Hi, I'm White Mane Alliance. Should I go to Benediction or Grobulus?" And because the server's dead. And I was like, wow, we just had this happen. I'm scrolling through Reddit like at work or something. I'm like, I should answer this guy. And I gave my honest opinion. And everyone on I know that they're on Grobulus. People were calling me like some heinous stuff because I was saying that Grobulus is going to end up like White Mane. And they're like, no, it's not, you idiot. You don't know anything you're talking about.
They
F
get
you.
so mad.
I was like, well, you know what's funny is I remember this happening on White Mane too. When White Mane first started tipping to Horde, you get these like overly defensive people who were like, no. The reason that Horde are taking over is just because of this X or Y reason, and there's not going to be a population shift. And it's like, I'm not trying to trash. I would love Grobulus to survive. Go to Grobulus. The only reason we went to Benediction is because the transfers aren't free.
They will like literally people will show up first time chatters in my stream like and be like, Bob, why did you let Yip take you guys to Benediction? And I'm like, well, first off, I didn't have a choice. Like it was guild leadership that has a choice. He's part of guild leadership, but second of all, like they're just trying to get me like riled up to say, yeah, we should have went, but like. Just because that's what I wanted doesn't mean it was the smartest idea. Like I do think Benediction was still the smartest idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What are you going to ask all your guild to spend a whole bunch of money? Like, come on.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, that's the biggest thing is, and
that's why we did it.
Listen, we probably. I mean, I don't know what's going on out there, but we probably had one of the best transfers any guild ever has. Not only did every single person come, like we run like 28 or 29 people. All those people came. Somebody who we just like. Somebody invited someone to the guild at some point who doesn't even like raid with us. They came with us. They were like, "Hi guys, I'm this guy from White Mane," and I was like,
"Some socials come with us." Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah,
you came to.
Who are you?
And it's like,
we didn't lose any raiders either. Thank God.
The
we can't
weirdest
ask
thing,
people to
though,
spend thousands of dollars to a server we aren't 100% sure about. That's all.
I did see, I think I put a screenshot of it in our guild Discord, but when, like, the first week we had transferred over, I saw one of our socials in a BG, and he still had the Varg Flocken name and everything. I was like, hey, it's an old brother.
That's pretty.
It was a warlock. I forget the name, though, but yeah, pretty funny. All right, well, we had some reviews.
We did. So both of them are on Apple Podcasts. The first one, great show. You guys put on a great show. Love the conversations and guests you guys have on. Wish the episodes were longer. Definitely helps keep me occupied at work. Classic is the only way. P.S. I'm a lonely Destro Warlock looking for Thursday, Friday raiding guild on Benediction. Help. Character name, Athenage. Again, love the show. You guys rock. And yeah, if you're on Benediction and you're looking for a Destro Warlock, which they're pretty good. If you're sick of being in Highjaw, you should pick up an extra Destro Warlock. Go check out Athenage. I don't know anything about them. Ooh, should I live look at their logs and then trash them, or should I?
You should just give them a rating based upon the numbers. Don't like say.
I'll give you a rating based on the numbers. I actually don't see any logs whatsoever.
Hell yeah!
So he really needs help. He needs you guys to like let him in. He's
3
reaching
stars.
out. But if
2.5
you do
stars.
get in, make sure to email us and tell us how your journey has gone at our email address.
ZA's out. We're gonna talk about it now. Like there'll be you'll find a home out there, and there'll be plenty of time to. If you need gear, which maybe you don't, not everyone logs. So if you need gear, there's plenty of gear to be had out there right now. Now I feel it's like a great time to get into TBC if you need to get your character up and running. But thank you for your review.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, good luck in your search. Another one, a great classic podcast. Highly recommend this podcast as one of the last few true Classic WoW podcasts. Thank you for continuing to provide Classic WoW discussion in a positive and constructive manner through the lens of the normal player. It makes a nice contrast to Prepared, which is also great, but a little more sweaty. It is great. The host banter makes the content better and provides a nice backdrop to sometimes drier news. Beyond playing the wrong faction, you guys are great. Laktaro Gar, you alliance scum. For the Horde. Dax on Faralina.
For the Horde.
And then as usual, I love when Bobo is, for a while, Bob never like found like the international reviews or something, and now he points out all of them, and I just love when he underlines the Canadian ones. Like this one's from
It's not really international.
I know. Half our guild is Canadian.
I know, right?
I think maybe Canadians want a shout out to Canada. That's all.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
apparently there's some Horde scum up in Canada, so. Laktaro Gar, you Horde scum, all right?
I'll give it to you for the Horde. But
there you go.
Good news is, though, we've had Snowy from Prepared on the pod before. We did a PvP episode with him, but looks like we're going to be able, at sometime in the future, to get Zyrene to guest on the show, too. So I look forward to that interview because he's had a pretty interesting career in esports and gaming, so it'll be a pretty neat episode. So look forward to that sometime in the future.
Is he also a Horde scum?
He's Alliance.
Okay, yes, welcome him on.
The problem is you got to be careful.
The love.
Most of these alliance people are they're fickle alliance players half the time. They're like, they're not. They're like, oh, I usually play Horde, but I'm playing Alliance's expansion. It's like, oh my god, it's not the same.
I mean, this is the last bastion of Alliance's Classic WoW. Apparently, no one plays Alliance in retail.
Yeah, like literally no.
Yeah, literally no one.
Cool.
Although that could be changing with everybody being able to raid and stuff together now. That could actually have a swing at some point.
Wow. They're still going to call it World of Warcraft. Anyway.
Yep, but
they just call it World of Craft.
World of Happiness.
We're in a
world of alliances.
We're all friends now, guys.
Oh, for the Horde, now we have for the Alliance, for the Horde. Gnomes are on the Horde and everything. This shit's gone crazy.
And mud huts. Come on.
My gosh! Oh my gosh! All right, what has everybody been doing lately in WoW? Who wants to go first?
Well, everyone
I can
rags
go
on me and
first.
Guild for being a raid logger, so that's all I'm going to talk about right now. Then
Uh,
raid log.
I mean, I don't really think I have anything. I mean, ZA, but I haven't even ran it because I don't really need anything in there. So I sat. Um, it looked fun. What else am I doing? PvP and raid logging. That's essentially what we're doing. We got our first glaive.
Oh, nice. So did
Yeah,
we.
we got a main
So did
hand
we.
glaive this week. And yeah, not really exciting stuff. I am preparing my professions for my Death Knight. I'm already preparing them. About halfway done, I'd say. Saving a lot of gold by mining most of the stuff myself. So
Okay, so you're basically making the kits that we made, like for like
yeah,
jewel crafting and stuff prior
jewel
to.
crafting and blacksmithing I'm doing, yeah. So it's a pretty expensive one, but getting it all done now, so I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, that'll be
Nice.
that'll be huge. I just recently worked up engineering again, and it's amazing how nice that is to do with a guide and just to have all the mats. So I just
Yeah.
literally did it in about, I don't know, 2 hours total. I went 1 to 300 in about an hour and a half, and then about 45 minutes for 300 to 375, and it's
With-
just.
Well, you had the stuff already. You had the stuff already, or you bought it, or like,
I bought it. Yeah, I bought all the stuff.
Okay.
But like,
yeah.
it was just nice to be like on the big server. All this stuff is like readily available
Yeah.
and pretty cheap. Like, it cost me for the whole thing, probably 250. Then probably cost me 500 gold for the whole thing total. And then
That's
that
not bad.
actually
not
made
bad at
like
all.
most of the mats for my engineering goggles too. And then
Wow, I
the
power
mode
leveled
extractor
enchanting
and
recently
stuff.
because blacksmithing has been useless for me, and that cost me like $3,000 to do enchanting. So that's
Ooh.
cheap. Yeah.
Oh well, enchanting. I feel like enchanting. You should just like run lower level
Give it
dungeons
$2,000.
by yourself and just.
I started, dude, and I just
Yeah, that's
I
a lot of
cut it out.
work.
it got so boring that I was just like, you know what? I have a lot of gold saved
F
up.
it.
I'm just gonna do it. Yeah.
I feel you.
I do dailies all the time. I think we talked about this. I do a lot of dailies, so I have a lot of like flexible gold. So I already have like over 10K saved from my DK. Like, I'm really serious about him getting him ready to go as soon as possible. So yeah.
I mean, you could always come gamble in our guild because we do a lot of that. It's wonderful.
No.
It's Yip's favorite
Certainly
thing.
do a lot of gambling. Hey, we didn't gamble in raid. I've got nothing to complain about. And
Yeah, we did a good
True.
job of that.
honestly, we after I complained, the other officers listened to the podcast, so if I openly
I
complained
heard-
about gambling,
Yeah,
they were
all
like,
I heard was
"Fine."
Jasmine being like, "We can't gamble during raid," and I'm like, "Damn it, Yip!"
Yeah, well, raid went significantly smoother without
Whatever.
gambling.
We had much
I have
less
to
fun.
admit, I had a lot more fun.
No, it was fine.
All right, so Mel, what
Um,
have you been up to?
Well, I was in Colorado all week, so not much. I did raid from Colorado. First of all, I got there on Monday, and I don't know what my curse is that my internet in my hotel rooms is always a nightmare. But the internet, I get there and the internet won't connect. And I'm on the gaming computer, and usually there's been times where it hasn't connected to Wi-Fi. Like Bub's like, maybe the Wi-Fi card's going out or something. So that's what I thought it was. So I did everything possible to fix the computer issues, right? Well, then it wasn't the computer. So then I had to finally call support, and then I had to spend 25 minutes on support. And then
It
finally
was
she's
basically, if anybody stayed at a hotel, you're supposed to connect to the Wi-Fi. The splash page is supposed to come up when you pull up any browser, and then you're
Yeah.
supposed to be able to put your room in or whatever information they've given you to put in. I went through everything with her, TLDR, IP config, everything, pinging the proper things, and I was like, this has got to be your actual splash page. So they should be able to just give you access if you tell them your IP address. And sorry.
yes. So I did
How
that.
many people are loitering in hotel rooms that they need to do that much security for their Wi-Fi.
Seriously.
I know I've
Yeah,
done it a lot
really?
too.
Seriously.
I do get it, but like, what are people coming into the lobby stealing the Wi-Fi? Like, I'm trying
Yeah,
to
like, can't you just
understand.
kick out the people that are sitting in your lobby or in the parking lot? Like,
Yeah,
hire some
like
security.
They,
Like,
dude, I mean, people, IT, most people in business don't know what IT does. And so IT just makes up new jobs. They're like, hey, really need security guys. Need to hire a
Yeah.
security guy. And then that security guy comes in and he's fresh out of school and he has no idea like how much of pain in the ass everything he does is. And I was that guy at one point, but you know, like, and so they just put all these stipulations on to make them feel like they're doing something. And yeah, it gets a little overboard at times.
well, my favorite was the lady on the phone was like, "Is this the first time you've called support?" And I was like, "Nope, sure not. I've called support a few times during my stays." And she goes, "No, I mean just like during this stay." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just got here." Like, like, yeah, first time I've called this stay. Thank you for your help. But finally they did get everything connected, so that was fun. Um, and then when I logged on to Raid on Tuesday, first of all, I didn't even think about the patch that had come out and then the like updates that had come out and how it messed up my like system at home. Now I was on the laptop, right? So I was trying to fix that. I also forgot that I was an hour ahead of everybody. So like I
In your
logged on.
defense, you've been going to Austin, and this time you were in Colorado Springs. So
Right. Like every time I've traveled, I've been in the same time zone for the last like year. And so this time I went to Colorado and I was an hour ahead. And so I log on at 8:30 thinking like, all right, I'm logging on in time for raid. I got time to like set up my stuff, make sure everything's ready. I was like, why is everybody in voice chat? And I was like, oh shit.
Great time.
Yeah. So I was a
I-
little late.
I feel like I have to say again, and I was telling you when you came, I don't think any of us knew that you were late because Bob was like, I was gonna sit you anyway because you know you're in the hotel. I was like, whatever, you're in a hotel. I'll just
Yeah.
assume that you're sitting. And then Bob, I don't know if Bob was covering for you, but Bob was definitely saying like, if we need Mel will hop on. And I
I
was like,
hadn't
okay.
talked to her.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I assume she will hop on if we need her. I
She
don't
just
think we need her
told
right now.
me, yeah, she just told me she'd be available, and I was on, and like, I just thought like, you know, she like I didn't even look to see if she was on or
We
anything.
all just assumed you just weren't gonna hop on until we told you to.
So
And
I
then
totally just outed
you
myself.
outed yourself entirely. You were like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry with time zones." I'm like, "Oh, I just thought you were there and waiting if we needed
Yeah,
you."
I was
Honestly
waiting.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
she
you were
called
late.
me like, I don't know, 10 minutes till, you know, an hour after raid started. Like, she called me like 50 minutes after raid started. I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot. I was like, well, I don't think they've like tried to call you in. They haven't said anything to me. And I was like, that's what I found out. I was like, huh, okay, well, shit.
Well, I was also very confused because I was like, okay, I figured if like I was at my computer, I was doing stuff for work, right?
Yeah,
And then like I wasn't like somewhere partying or sleeping or
yeah. Why
whatever.
did no one message you? Like, why?
Yeah, I was like, somebody could have messaged me or Bob would have called me, right? You'd think.
No, yeah. I mean,
But-
if they had said, but
AKA Bob also, yeah. The only thing that made sense is Bob just also didn't know you were late, and then we all just let it slide by, which is fine. Well, the only reason you slipped by is we did actually need you, but Kim's friend, Thick in the guild, was gonna come to ZA, so he just slotted in for the rest of High Jaw, and that worked out fine anyway. More shamans are good, so can't really complain.
well, no, this was Tuesday.
This was
Yeah.
Tuesday? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
that was Thursday that this happened. I think Tuesday we just had enough people anyway.
Yep.
No, so Thursday, my flight. So
That's right.
Well, here, hold on.
I
I guess we
scheduled-
could
but
do
I-
this. Yeah, okay, we
Yeah,
could
I
do
don't
this.
have to
This
talk
isn't
about
really
ZA.
easy, eh?
So I scheduled my flight. So when I'm like scheduling my flights, I do think about raid times, right? And I was like, so I'll be out on Tuesday, so I'd like to make Thursday raid like at home. right? So I try to like schedule it, and I was like, well, there's not some great times, but it's better than like being in a hotel on Thursday and then flying back Friday morning, right?
Yeah, she
And
was
so
basically supposed to land an hour and 45 minutes before raid time.
yeah,
40
I'm getting
minute
there.
drive home. We should have been there an hour prior.
Yeah. And then I fly from Colorado Springs to Denver, and then I get to Denver, and then it's like your flight's delayed. But it's delayed by like 20 minutes, right? Like, yeah, okay. That kind of sucks. I send Bobby this message and he's like, "What?" And he's not happy. He's like, "No, I'm going to miss raid." And I was like, "No, it's fine." So then my flight gets delayed again. And then we're sitting on the plane and Bobby messages me and is like, "Your flight just says you're going to be not be in until 9, which is raid time."
Now, this
I
whole
was like,
time
"No,
I'm
no,
at
no,
the
no, no."
airport while these delays keep happening. Because I was like,
Well,
just in case it's not right, and she's on, earlier, I'm going to be there to grab her as soon as possible and get back.
so I was not early. And we got delayed again. And then we landed like right at 9. I did pay the $40 to upgrade my seat because I was on Southwest and I was in like C12 boarding, which one would always give you a middle seat. And two, you're going to be in the back middle seats, right? Like you're not even going to get a front middle seat. So I upgraded to like the A1 through 15. So I was in like the second row and I was gonna get off the plane real fast, right?
Well, okay, so it turned out to like she was supposed to land like when like a little bit before raid started. And I'm sitting here going, she's like, "All right, we're taking off now." He says it's going to be an hour, and an hour is like 20 minutes before raid starts. But the flight information says it's like when raid starts, and I'm like, okay, well, if her pilot said an hour, maybe the flight thing's wrong. So I tell the guild we're going to be like 20 minutes late, right? And so at that point, I'm like, well, wait a second. Can you just take Uber and I'm just going to drive home and raid? And then it goes sent to SMS. So it means she'd take it off. And I was like, did I write like, okay, well, I'm just going to go home and you just take an Uber home. And I started to drive home and I was like, I can't fucking do this to her. Like, I don't want her to have to take an Uber for this whole time. And the guy's probably going to be an asshole. So I'm like,
You
okay.
made
Yeah, I was just like, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna stay here, and I keep sending her these texts, and they keep getting go to SMS. She probably landed and was like, "Oh my god, 10 texts," but I kept going back and forth, be like, "No, I'm gonna go back up. No, I'm gonna stay. No, I'm gonna." And then finally, I was just like, "I'm just gonna stay. I don't want to miss the first CA, but I'm just gonna stay and see how it happens." And so I'm sitting there like for 20 minutes. I'm just driving around the circle, like so the cops don't make me leave. And I'm like, I'm gonna be here exactly. She's gonna jump. She's gonna throw her bag in the back seat. She's gonna jump in. We're gonna speed off.
He's like, "I'm not even gonna stop."
Yeah, KCI.
Yeah, I know that airport very well. Yeah.
And so yeah,
It's
they're
pretty
building.
glorious.
Yeah, they're building the new one. The new one's going to be sick. But right now, there's just 2 of the terminals. But yeah, so basically, long story short, we did make it back in time. They were still in Hyjal. I was like, oh,
No. You missed a key part of this because Bob sends all these text messages while I'm up on the flight. And then they come in this very random order.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The order was all wrong.
I land and it's like, "Hey, I'm gonna stay and pick you up." And then it's like, "Call an Uber." And then it's like, "Yeah, I'm driving home. What time is your flight leaving? Have you landed yet?" And I'm like, "What is happening?" Like,
Yeah, they all went in like I had sent them all, and they wait for like I don't know however amount of time, but they all started sending in weird orders, and I'm like, oh god. So then I had to send like 3 with like I am here, I am picking you up. Like it was a
Can I
fiasco, but I did make it to ZA, so it was all good.
That's good.
we did not. So we almost waited for you guys because you guys said 20 minutes late. I said nobody currently at the airport knows what time they will be back.
It's
There's just
true.
no shot that if someone's texting you from the airport unless they are in the car driving, I do not trust whatever time they are saying they'll be back. But yeah, you guys weren't super late, but we would not have wanted to wait.
So
Yeah.
I'm assuming someone in our audience works for an airline, or I have to ask, why is everything so fucked up all the time? Like, I hate being that kind of person, but like, this has been going on since the Wright brothers. Like, why haven't we gotten this down? Like, as a science, why is it the norm, not the exception, for your flight to be delayed, canceled, someone doesn't show up to work, one of the pilots or one of the stewardesses? What is going on?
I gotta guess it's like a bunch of different things. Like, pilot can't do it, like, or they can't, like, they don't want to put the flight out if they can't fill it, so they cancel it. Like, I don't know. There's probably a plethora of
I don't think that
reasons.
happens.
They were flying empty flights during COVID.
Yeah. I don't think they cancel because it's not full, but I think weather has a lot to do with it, honestly. I think, especially driving between Colorado and Kansas, like, there was like extreme winds at one point, and they had to de-ice our plane, which I think delays them. And then, like, there's a bunch of different things I think that delay, but I feel like with the amount of data and information we have about those things, we could get a little bit better at scheduling our flights. Like, maybe you don't schedule.
I'm going to go on the opposite
should
side,
get reimbursed if this happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on the opposite.
The money back.
Don't schedule a flight to leave at 7:15 when your other flight lands at 7:12. Okay, because that's not realistic. Okay,
I think if every time somebody fucks up, sorry to curse,
it costs them money.
It should cost them money, and I guarantee you things will get more efficient.
They'd fix it.
Now, maybe that's true, but I'm going to go on the opposite end here. It pisses me off to no end. Like, I'll literally be losing my mind while flights are delayed and everything else because I hate the airport, hate everything about it. But I remember a comedian changed my mind years ago, and he was like, everybody bitches about flights and how it's delayed and everything, blah, 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 blah. He goes, but you're getting to fly in the fucking sky like a fucking bird.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting to go somewhere extremely fast. Like,
that was an argument in the 40s, Bob. It's not just spectacular like, anymore.
It still is spectacular, and that's something we kind of have to like take into account.
No, you're wrong.
We get to fly like a bird. I mean, look at me right now. I have wings.
To the point. It's come to the point. Unless you're traveling extremely far, which Mel was not, right? No. It almost doesn't even make sense anymore to fly. Most flights that I have taken, unless they're cross country, I'm barely saving time when you add in the trip to the airport, the time you're waiting.
If you're going state to state,
And by the way, you want to talk about bears? Flying is terrifying. So I'm saving myself an hour and a half.
Flying is terrifying.
And I'm flying.
Okay,
and
it's not terrifying.
No, okay, take that back. Flying is not terrifying. Landing is terrifying. Landing is terrifying, especially when we went in one of those huge planes to Paris. The dude that was landing the plane, like, he like tapped the right tire, then tapped the left tire, then tapped the right tire, then tapped the right tire again, then the left tire, right, boom, 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 boom. And we finally landed. Even the stewardess was like, well, our captain's a little bit of a crazy man, but we're down and we're here. And I was like, get me off of this plane.
That's what we want to hear. Yeah.
The flight attendants are pretty funny. They've gotten pretty creative, I will say that. But there are certain airports that really suck at getting flights off on time. And Dallas is one of them. Okay, I avoid flying into Dallas.
O'Hare's terrible too.
To save my life, because they always like the first time I ever got a flight canceled was Dallas, and they were like, "Your flight's canceled. We can get you out on Sunday. It's Friday." And I'm like, I don't need to get out on Sunday.
That was when you were coming to the Overwatch League Grand Finals, the first one of that year,
we were leaving
in New
York on Sunday. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh,
The last thing, Bob, real quick, I would agree with your argument that flying is amazing if I had wings strapped to me and I was flying myself. The fact that I'm in a tin can with people that are way too close to me eating shitty food, that is not spectacular. I'm sorry. It's just not.
It's at best uncomfortable, and at worst terrifying. You know, like there's no actual like wee. Like there's a couple people who are like wee, but there's also the same people who are like that about like trains and stuff. They're like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
like trains are cool, and
Okay.
you know, I can't like base it on everyone's like little specific interest.
Yeah.
But being on a plane is at best boring.
Okay, you can cut this if you want, Bob, but I have to tell you, when I got on my first flight to go to Colorado, I got in there and I was like in, boarding group B. So I was like, okay, this is going to be fine, right? I get an aisle seat and I'm proud of that, right? And then the person that sits in the middle seat, it seemed to be fine, right? I was like, okay. But it was a person with like really big hair.
Oh God.
And then it was just like, and I was trying not to be rude, right? But I'm like, and it's just like itching me, and it's literally taking up half of my seat. I feel
That's so disgusting.
like, yeah. I was like, am I like a horrible person? But like,
No, she's a horrible person.
You need to control your hair
Or he,
and
I
like
don't know.
put it up.
But yeah,
No, it was her. I'm like, just
yeah, she's a horrible person.
put it up. Like, do not come in with this hair that's this big. Oh,
Oh my God, we're
Yeah.
gonna keep getting on tangents. I have
No,
one
we're
now
good.
too.
That's it.
No,
Let's
I
stop
have.
there. Oh,
I've
all right,
got
all
one
right.
down. I was listening to Rooster Teeth podcast, and Barbara on there, she was talking about this same thing. She was talking about how uncomfortable she is sitting next to people. She was sitting next to this guy, and she saw him typing on his phone, and she just glanced over. And he goes, I fucking hate flying, but at least I'm sitting next to some skinny bitch. And she goes, well, at first I was like, oh, he thinks I'm skinny. And then she was like, well, that was kind of mean. I don't know.
He said bitch. Yeah.
Total
exactly.
rant. All right, let's get back on track. So Melissa, besides that, she hasn't we haven't done any hardcore stuff, although Hardcore Elite did like reach out to me asking her name. So I think they're trying to get her in the raids as a priest healer. But we'll have to see if we do anything on that note. But as far as me, like, raid logging is fine. We've said that many times. Yip always goes hard at the start of content releases, start of new stages. He's always in there making sure he gets his PvP stuff, making groups for whatever dungeon or whatever BG we need. So that's the way he plays. That's the way I normally play too. But since I've been working on so many alts in PvP, I've been playing a ton. So I've been playing my rogue, my warrior, doing the dailies every day, trying to learn, just get better at both the rogue and the warrior. And the rogue, there's a lot of stuff to learn. So I keep learning, keep picking Cassimo and our guild's brain, and Snowme is nice enough to reply to me and give me tips. And I've just been trying to get better at that and learn, and I've been just having a blast doing that. And that's basically all I've been doing besides raiding, is just like a lot of different PvP stuff. And I just wish I had more arena partners during the day. I've got iPod, but he's available, like half of the time, but he's also working on a lot of alts. And so sometimes he doesn't want to actually just PvP. I wish I could get an arena partner that just wanted to spam some games, for 4 or 5 hours and just really, really like learn. And so it's the only thing that I'm kind of bummed about, but everything else has been really cool. I've just been playing a lot.
I just can't figure out what people are asking of me. What are people doing all day that they're playing that they're not raid logging? I feel crazy. They're
Basically
like, oh, you're raid logging.
PvP.
Yeah, exactly. I did PvP on 2 characters. I got all my off pieces.
So Yip was getting shit from what used to be, it was the 5s team I created and then like I abandoned, and Yip was getting shit from them the other raid, like, hey, Yip's never on for us to do 5s, and Yip's like, listen, if we schedule 5s, if we schedule an hour or 2 hour block to do 5s, I will come every time. But everybody's just like, oh, well, let's just wait an hour, see what people are on, and I don't want to do that.
I don't.
Yeah, we schedule
and
it.
And I totally agree with Yip 100%.
When I'm playing a lot, I'm down to, like, I'm online. Hey, we're all online. Let's do 5s. I get it. But if I'm not playing a lot, which is required in order to play for years of this game straight, which by the way has been multiple years now that we've been playing this game straight. Then if I'm not,
And
you work all day, you come home, you're like, ooh, I'm gonna watch this episode tonight I've been putting off, and then people are
Yeah.
like, hey, you want to arena in an hour? And it's like, I
exactly.
mean,
And like,
No.
and it's okay. So when I started the fives team, we got like 10 people, because I was like, okay, well, we want to have, backups and stuff. And I made a Discord group, and I'd even try and do plans days in advance. I'd get like 3 replies, maybe 2, and it'd be like, well, I might be on for this and this. And I'm like, I just want people to be like, this is my availability. Then we can be like, okay, this is the time we are going to meet, and this is what we're going to do. And that's what I think, like Melderon and his fives team does, and that's the way to
Yeah.
do it. Like it's not like, oh, well, I'll do it if nothing better is around,
Yeah.
or if I'm not in a GDKP or like no, like let's like make this an actual event and a thing that we do. Like the best is Monday nights, but like
I want to reiterate,
Yeah.
my fives team listens to this. I was not the one who brought this topic up. This was Bob who was complaining about you guys, not me.
I am just trying to say, if you give Yip
Only
a
because
time,
Yip
Yip's
and
gonna
pre-show
show up.
was bitching.
Yeah, I mean, people work and people have things they want to do. Like like last night, everyone was like, "Oh, run a ZA after the ZA," and I'm like, "No, I'm going to bed. I'm going to do, or not bed. I was like, I'm going to do something. I want to watch
Well,
TV,
yeah.
or I want to, I don't know."
I might do
Yeah.
a ZA.
I'm not going to do anything exciting, but I'm going to do something
Yeah.
that's not wow. Okay.
Sitting in my computer chair. Yeah.
I might do a ZA after this, and they were like, "Oh, we need someone to like tank or off tank," and I was like, "Listen, I'll come on my warrior for my extra like whatever on my warrior, but I would really rather DPS because I don't want to tank up to 4 ZAs a week on
Yeah.
my characters. Like I know that I can." I just like I'm gonna go crazy in a month if that's how I do this month, where I'm tanking 2 of these like or every reset, and it's a 3-day reset. Like I'm just gonna go crazy. I would love to transition my warrior to a DPS so I can like
Well, and you
have some
can,
fun.
yeah, you can off take. Like that's what they say.
Yeah, I can off tank very
Suggest
easy,
is a warrior DPS off take. Oh, on a
Yeah,
side note, will you take me with you to that ZA? I would love to
yeah, if
go.
there's room, I have no idea. Honestly, if there's no room, you can totally take my spot. But I do want to transition my warrior into DPS because warrior DPS is fun. DPSing
Yeah.
is fun.
Oh,
Tanking,
yes.
tanking, like I feel bad because I kind of want to transition out of tanking for Wrath of the Lich King. Tanking isn't that fun, but there are like other benefits you get as a tank that
Mhm.
make up for it. And
From
that's
what I
like,
hear, though, warrior taking gets really fun in
no,
Wrath,
it
though.
doesn't.
That's just what I've
I don't
heard. I
care.
don't know.
No, but listen,
They're
I
still
agree.
bottom of the barrel.
It gets more fun,
Yeah.
but if you're someone who takes the game very seriously like I do, it's not gonna be the right class choice for me. Even if
Yeah.
it's better than it is now, if I'm still the worst tank, I'm gonna be like, well, this still stinks, dude. Like, but yeah, I mean, my whole thing is like tanking itself is not that fun because you like there's nothing to really work for, especially in like a Kara or ZA scenario. You're just like controlling mobs, you're pulling aggro the whole time. It's just like a little bit annoying, and you don't get all the benefits you get from like when you're in a 25 man. Like no one can really tell you to shut up because you're tanking your main. You have all these
Yeah.
like benefits as a main tank.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
I'm looking
in
forward to
ZA,
taking next expansion.
yeah,
So I can get all the trifecta will be over after that.
yeah.
I've
My
done everything.
big problem with tanking is that every boss fight is a tank and spank for a tank, pretty much. Like you literally most of the time are just sitting there doing nothing. All the cool stuff, like on Terran Gorfiend, I'm never gonna have to do the spirits. Like on
Well, and
Blood
you
Boil,
also
I don't know.
went
There's just like
from
there's no.
you went from a very high skill cap tank to a much easier skill cap.
I don't want to say that
tank.
because I've been there. I have room for improvement on my druid still. Not really room for improvement. It's just that other than
we
the
know.
initial pull, it's so easy to keep threat. I just don't maximize as hard as I was on my warrior. When you're like underdog, I feel like I was way more
Yeah.
like
Like
interested
press your
in.
buttons.
Yeah,
When
like
you
the
see people
reason.
creeping up on you, you're like, fuck. Yeah,
Exactly. The reason, like, I had no problem putting in the time and effort to like try to 99 every fight that I could because I was like, I need to do the best that I can on my warrior. On my druid, I'm like, well, that was good enough. Like that works. I have such a huge lead by
Only
even
a
though just
warlock
minute
died,
in,
so I'm good.
yeah, that's fine. And yeah, I mean, with trash and stuff, it's like the prot warrior is the trash guy. I'm just there. I pick up a couple things, and it's kind of whatever. I'm not saying that tanking is boring. I just think that DPS is like more fun. Is basically
I'm having a blast with DPS and his enhancement, dude. There's so much to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think that's about it. Let's do a little raid progress for our Tuesday night raid. Yep.
Oh, dude, don't make me talk about Tuesday night raid. So we decided we were gonna try to one night, which we had planned on.
Without Mel, which was your first mistake.
Actually, that was a big mistake because we won't get into spoilers, but I'm not gonna actually say names either.
This is the real problem. I mean, Mel is amazing, but the real problem was that Stoof, our paladin, due to the patch, could not log into her paladin. It was just
She was literally
unplayable
locked out.
during raid time.
And she's also the only one people are comfortable with being Master Looter.
Yes, so we brought in her alt druid, which is fine. She did fine on her alt druid, but it is less geared. It is a second
Way
druid,
less
and then
geared.
we have
We're talking
no
like
holy paladin.
We're talking
which,
like
the
half
holy
blues,
paladin,
right?
Yeah, I mean the holy paladin bombing the main tank is like a significant amount of like healing that just basically disappears when you bring in a druid. We didn't have Mel there, which we could have brought Mel in at times, but and we did later, I think, right, Mel? We brought you in later on in Black Temple.
Yeah.
But I was also feeling like we should be able to do High Jaw in like the early parts of Black Temple with 4.5 healers. Like we should be able to. But we had a couple of box standers who broke High Jaw this week, despite us being very explicit about not messing around and jumping on stuff.
Oh my god. So I asked Bob, this is hilarious, because I asked Bob, he said, yeah, Hydel bugged out again. And my comment to him was, who stood on a box? And his response was lol.
I've never seen this. What?
So when you go to the Horde camp, if you start jumping on boxes in like the tower ramp, I think it's just the boxes, but we basically tell people don't do anything. If you spawn the first wave, nothing comes out, and you have to wait. You have to wait 2.5. You have to wait the full like timer for the wave, and then when you get to the boss, the first wave spawns, and then the boss resets. You have to do all the trash again. So you basically, there's nothing you can do. You have to wipe and reset, or what we do is we just teleport to Black Temple and call it a day in High Jaw. But
I hope nobody from my guild is listening to this right now.
I know,
dude. Well, the sad part is
ruin it.
Yeah, and the sad part is it wasn't one person. Now I don't know if the raiders forget that I stream and the VODs are saved, but
it was about 20% of our raid jumping on boxes.
Yeah, officers went back.
Why would they even do that?
And they saw 4 people guilty of it during different times, like before the encounter started, and I honestly don't think it's funny. Like when we were trying one night,
I don't think they were doing it on purpose. I think Bob can answer this question the best, because this does happen to you sometimes. I think people don't listen to Discord for some reason.
That might be it.
No, Raiders never do that. Raiders
like
never.
I know what you're talking about. I know, right? Bob's come out before and been like, "Are we killing this egg?" Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, like, but it's like me
That's
accidentally not hearing. I feel like we've said the box thing.
I know
so many times though.
I refuse to believe that 5 people were just like that. I don't believe anybody.
I thought it was 4 people.
I think it was 4. But I refuse to believe that they were actively sabotaging. I think they were just.
I hope you're right.
I think they forgot. They were not paying attention, and like they're like, I jump around a lot. I jump around all the time, and I can't stop. So like I get it.
Somebody say, don't forget
A
Don't-
lot. It was said
It's
so
been
much.
said every
Okay.
week.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I know, but I
the
wasn't
whole
there
way
this week.
running
That's
up.
insane.
Yeah, the whole way running.
been
we
said
were
in
like, don't jump on boxes.
Discord.
Don't jump on boxes.
It's been talked about on the podcast. It's been talked about
No,
everywhere.
I'm saying in the moment, Bob. I know we've talked about it multiple times
Yeah,
before.
in the moment it was said, but it could have been. I think like no one was saying it while we were mining, because you get to like take a little bit of time
Yeah,
before you pull
yeah.
to get the ores up and stuff. So I think that I don't think anyone did it maliciously, which is why like I don't want to even mention a single
Well,
person. Who,
Oh yeah, I didn't
I'm
plan on ever mentioning a name.
I'm guessing that's one of your officers in chat. I think you should have an announcement right away and say, listen, if somebody does it this week, we're minus in DKP.
That's our
what I-
Yeah,
yes.
that might be.
Stoofers in
Yeah.
chat is the paladin that couldn't log in. That came in on her druid.
yeah.
She's
Because,
our
like,
master looter.
If that ever happened, if somehow someone listens to this and it's like thank God our raid is either dumb enough or just doesn't think about like outside the box. They haven't done this yet. If it happens the first time, like okay, but if it happens, I'll tell them as soon as afterwards. If you do this again, I'm giving you a minus on your loot list. Like I'm giving you a penalty. Like that is happening.
No,
I
agree because it's
Yeah.
not. It's actually not funny because like it is the reset alone is multiple minutes because it's like 8 minutes or something for Thrall to come back to even talk to him. Like
Just
it is
the
a
reset, but you have to
serious
go through
waste of
all
time.
you have to go through all the waves or at least wipe, to actually get to the
or at least
reset
wipe.
time.
But yeah, I don't think anyone's doing it maliciously, but it is a huge waste of time. The crazy thing is, before we knew what was happening, this was happening to us. Like we only just learned the cause, but we had been in Highjaw and it happened like twice in a row, and we just had to leave because we were like, Highjaw's broken. I guess like we can't raid. Like it's actually crazy. But yeah, so that's how the raid started. But we're pretty fast now. As soon as it broke, we just headed over to Black Temple. But it just wasn't. I don't know. We had a bad raid night. I don't know if there's that many specifics I can get into where I'm just not complaining. But we wiped on the Gentis. I feel like that's enough to.
Yeah.
It was just like we were just having an off night, and we did go all the way to Illidan. I think we left Highjaw. The rest of Highjaw up, so we did. We cleared enough that we had plenty of time to do it on Thursday.
I mean,
and
we
everything.
actually
And we had some sick loot, so it ended up working out fine.
we just lost Mel.
Mel disappeared. She'll find her way back in.
Happened. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
Pokemon.
okay, so and we destroyed Council, destroyed Illidan.
Did we destroy Council?
Yeah, I don't think we wiped once, did we? I don't
Was
think
this on
we did.
Tuesday or Thursday? I think I was there for council.
Yeah, I don't
We
think we
wiped
wiped
once.
once.
Yeah, we
Did
did.
we?
We brought
wiped
Mel
once.
in.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
No, we did. We brought you in. We didn't bring you in for Mother, I think.
Yeah.
And then we brought you in for.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you did bring me in for Mother after you guys had wiped. I think you guys wiped once and then you brought me in for Mother, and then I forgot to get my shadow pot and I was really nervous that I was gonna get the thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We were just like wiping on stuff, and it just wasn't going well. And I mean, the Highjaw thing really breaks up people's focus. I think that's like a big portion of it. You try to take it seriously, but as soon as the Highjaw bug happens, everyone's like head goes elsewhere as you make your way to Black Temple. And the fact that we
Yeah.
didn't have our third paladin, didn't have our holy paladin. It was a pretty crazy night.
Yeah, I mean,
But we
lose a
did get
buff,
Warglaive.
too.
We did get a Warglaive, right? That was this week.
We did.
I
We
believe.
did. We got our
So,
first.
Our main hand
hand.
Warglaive, which is very good. So we're happy about that. I went to IDDQD, which we knew was going to happen. And he spent all his DKP on it. And
according to the rules, he gets the offhand because it's
yeah, he'll get the
package deal.
offhand too,
So,
because it'd be crazy to split them up.
But he
I
did
think we got another
promise
Curse
you.
Vision too.
He did promise you that he would carry you to 1850 once he got the offhand. So we're putting that in the books and on the podcast. It was promised.
Don't. But yeah, so that is I don't know. Our loot was better than it normally is, but the raid went horribly. So yeah, that was which like it's always
It
like,
was just
we're gonna one
sloppy.
night tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
it went
sloppy.
fine because we still, one-nighted everything except for the last 3 bosses in High Gel, but it was definitely sloppy. people in my chat that come and watch normally were like, "You guys are sloppy tonight." I was like, "Yeah, it's a rough night."
And it was everybody. It was not like I would have loved to complain about somebody, be like, healers, why aren't you healing better? But it was like DPS were playing horribly, pulling random stuff. Like
I think there's a
I mean,
difference.
I
Like,
played. Yeah, I
our
played
warlocks
poorly
weren't
too.
summoning. Our
Like,
warlocks
Yeah.
weren't summoning. Our healers weren't rezzing. It was like, what is going on tonight?
I think I was like sitting there going, oh, like, trying to think of how we could change things, and I wasn't actually focused. Like, so I was going slower than should have been. Like, I'm not without blame either. So I'm not, I'm
I think when
throwing shade at me too.
I think when things go wrong, it just sets people up for excuses, right? So like, Stu couldn't get on her character and had to log on a different character. I
Yeah.
wasn't there. Like there was 3 different tiers of things that went wrong, and then it was like, oh, okay, well, we're probably not going to one night this in a lot of people's mind, right?
It all started. You weren't here for this, Mel, but we didn't have kings.
Yeah,
In
and that
High
We
is
literally
like,
didn't have kings.
we didn't have kings, and I think starting then everyone's like, and I felt it too. I haven't talked about this. I got my belt of 100 deaths. Finally, we've seen our third one after killing
Yip
Vance
was like
every week.
ready to parse and excited.
I was ready to parse, and as soon as I knew we didn't have kings, I was like, all right, my brain turned off also, because I was like, well,
right.
I can't parse. So like I totally get that. Yeah, like
Yeah, I think
just
it was
a night.
across the board.
But yeah, I mean, I think that it was especially a night because the expectation is, hey, let's try to one night, and then we have like one of the worst nights. So like I think that the expectations were good. But yeah, I mean, we killed
Next
enough stuff, we got
Tuesday,
enough
though.
loot, and we
Next
killed everything in the
Tuesday,
week. So.
we will one night it. We're gonna do it.
I think we will, as long as we don't have some absences. Absences are starting again, which is like good and bad. They've mainly been healer absences, I feel like.
What? Just me?
Just the
Who
case.
else?
No,
No, we've had
well,
others.
we've had like no
Luckily,
priests.
though,
Like that.
we do have. I mean, we do have some people coming back as social that are also heals. So like, we do have some backup heals, which is really
Yeah.
nice.
It is nice, but yeah, we've just been having. I was actually gonna say absences are good though, is what I was gonna say. It's because we run more than 25. It's annoying that when new content comes out, every single person is there, every single raid, so that you have to.
It is weird that new
always
content comes
switch
out
people.
and now we're seeing absences, right? Like I guess this is the first week
Yeah.
of CA, but
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully,
it's also
people are-
CA, so it's not like
We're gonna be
super.
running it a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
All right,
we're
well,
certainly going to be running a lot.
yeah, I think that's about it for raid. Unless I can't really think of anything else crazy besides, like we're gonna talk about ZG in the discussion section. So let's move into.
Well,
Can I
Did
say
we talk
something about
about
raid real
Melderons,
quick?
right?
Oh yeah, jump in.
Just 2 quick things. One, our Prod Pally was out this week for the first time. That was terrible.
Ugh.
My God! I didn't realize
wait.
yeah.
Wait, was our prop paladin gone, or was that last week?
That was
Last
last
week.
week.
That
Okay,
was
never
last
mind.
week,
Go
and you
on.
did really well.
You just didn't
and
talk
Yip-
about it because we weren't here, or you weren't
Oh,
here.
because
Yeah.
Yip was
And I
on.
failed
Yeah.
to even mention that when we talked about raid progress. I suck at the raid progress section.
We did mention that because we
we?
mentioned, I'm pretty sure, because I wanted to mention that Yip was so excited that we did well without the prop paladin.
Okay, so you didn't have your prop paladin Melderon though.
No, we didn't have ours, and that was wow. So yeah, hopefully he never has to do a work event again.
Well, I mean,
and,
elaborate for us.
Well, it just makes things hard, man. Like we actually had to stop doing Hygel because
Your lock seed immediately, correct?
Oh yeah. So like we actually wiped before a rage in Hygel. It's never happened before, not even week 1. And we said go to Black Temple. Did Black Temple fine, one shot all the bosses, and then he came the next day and we did Hygel. Like we couldn't do Hygel. Like we probably could have, but our raid lead was smart enough to say no, just go to Black Temple.
Yeah, I'm gonna interject.
You know what I mean?
When our paladin said that he wasn't gonna make Tuesday, we didn't even go to Hygel.
Yeah,
we just decided let's not even try it without.
Yep, we
paladin,
went
because
straight to
it would go
BT.
bad.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah,
that's the one thing I wanted to talk about. The other thing I wanted to talk about was something we've been working on and it's actually got some pretty crazy implications. So, do you guys know? Are you guys aware of the loot seed theory? Right, that
Yeah.
something player driven is driving the loot that's generated in the game. It's
Wait,
either
hold
player
on,
driven.
hold on. I don't.
Yeah.
I've never heard this.
I don't think I've
And
heard
the
this either.
listeners, there's probably plenty of listeners who haven't. Maybe you just
Bob,
expand a little bit.
you don't hear us talk about who seeded the
I hear you
raid
talking
every
about who's
time?
seeding, but I don't think it matters. But like, tell me the thought process on this theory.
Sure. So the theory is that there is a player-driven metric or variable that sets the random seed for the loot generation in the raid. So we it's been assumed since like very early WoW that loot is generated when someone zones into the instance. So when the instance ID is created, the NPCs are generated. Everything is generated at that point, and then loots are generated then, right? So all the bosses will drop the loot they're supposed to when the raid is created, right? Like when it comes into existence, it's been decided. There's got to be a seed variable. Like all random numbers in computers have to have a seed to start because computers can't create random numbers, right? They're not like humans. They need something to start off of, right? So the theory is it's something player controlled. It's either the time we enter, the person who has raid lead when the raid is created, the person who enters first. All these variables are what the seed theory is, right? So we started recording.
God damn it! That's why we're getting all the healer loot because Stoof's always the raid leader, right?
Potentially.
Exactly.
So we started recording the day, the time, who started the raid, who's raid lead when someone enters the raid, who the first person entering is, the time they entered.
You're taking data. I love it.
We are literally doing this, right? And I wouldn't believe it unless this dude Yogi, who's in our raid, he's a bear tank, and he's like,
That's
bro,
an amazing
Hey,
name.
boo boo! I'm Yogi
Yeah.
the bear.
he's like, bro, I've seen like 30 DSTs in my life, you know? And because he wasn't with us before, he's a relatively new guy. And I'm like, we're going to make him lead and enter the raid first, okay? Since we've been doing that, we've gotten 3 DSTs out of like 5 rules.
Yeah, but you changed both variables. So now,
Yeah, so we don't know which one it is. So the
so
reason we
now
did
you
that
need
is
to
we
do
don't
like
know
a
which one it
month
is.
of like him
No,
being
no.
the lead and not
What
the
we
raid.
need, unironically, I feel like you have more to say because your hand's up, but
Yeah.
we need to create an add-on that
Yes.
that will collect it across the entire player base, and then
I guarantee you there's something to this. I can't say 100%, like, you know this, Mel, like we need way more data to make a fucking like, consensus about, but something player driven is driving loot.
Yeah.
The only reason I brought this up, if there are guilds who are seeing the same shit every week,
Mhm.
screw around with who's raid lead, like who's the first person zoning in, change the times of your raids, like do all this crazy. I guarantee you're going to see different loot. And that's all I wanted to say about that. But
Okay,
we're starting to
never
record.
seen
No
we've never
healers.
seen
Yeah.
Boots of the Den Mother yet. The Treads of the Den Mother I've been waiting for. We've never seen a single pair, despite doing weekly trash farms as well too. So I'm in belief that there is something going on, but we need a ton of data. Let's make an add-on that collects it across the board, and then then we'll call Blizzard out on it.
So can
Hey,
we get your
listen, we're
solemn
not
promise,
on
Yip?
developers.
Can we get your solemn promise, Yip, that no healer is going to seed or be raid lead going forward for at least a
Listen.
few
Well, no,
weeks?
because
Hitting-
Jasmine's gotten us back-to-back DSTs. So I don't believe that there is. I don't believe that first of all, I don't think that it will come down to like what class you're playing.
Yeah.
But what stood out to me, which always got me thinking about a lot of things about WoW, it was the way people were handling Onyxia in early Classic, where like your characters, like you have like some kind of hex code, like there's some code, like some number
Yeah.
associated with your character, and based on those numbers, you would know who was gonna get fireballed.
Yeah. It happens
By
in Alar too.
Onyxia.
It happens in
Yeah.
Alar. Yeah.
And so
The
it's like
same guy gets hit with it every week. It's Yogi. And it doesn't matter when he zones in. It's his player generated random number or whatever his ID is. It always hits him, no matter what.
Yeah.
There's no variation. None.
And ever since I
Weird.
learned that
Yeah.
like a boss is being controlled by like the actual player like info. I was like, dude, there must be some real crazy, like some of the crazy stuff that people have said over the years might actually just be true. Like like whoever sees, because I mean something has to determine it, right? Like it does get determined.
You guys know my number is 1, 2, 3, 4.
What do you?
Oh, you're talking about your BNet number.
Yeah.
Can you choose what your peanut number is?
I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
When you change it, I think you can choose what numbers you get. I think you can.
Oh, she didn't. It's just the one she
I
got
don't think
years
I don't
ago.
when you first made it, I don't think you could.
Oh, I can change it?
Stuff. You can change your BNet.
Can it be the same as somebody else's?
Yeah, that's what the numbers are for.
Okay. Thanks, yeah.
Sorry. It can't be the same as someone else's because the numbers have to be different.
I think every raid has like a data guy, a data junkie that likes give this person, even if they're not an officer, give them tell them to make a spreadsheet, record all this information, get your whole guild to start really thinking about this, and I guarantee you're going to start seeing patterns, and you're going to be like, holy shit, like we could potentially have a power in what drops, so yeah.
Well, interestingly, we got a Warglaive this week. And this is the week that we had to go to BT at a different time because we couldn't do high jump.
It's also the week that Harskar was raid leader. Or started the raid. He started the raid before Stoof.
Yeah, so I'm going to think about.
But I like Stoof starting the raid and getting us some healer gear. So if I have any input.
We have
what
plenty,
more do you want?
Yeah, we have plenty.
What more do you want? You people have already taken all the loot from the warlocks.
We're disenchanting everything.
Taken all the loot. Just because the warlocks bitch about not getting loot, but won't bid any DKP on the loot.
I gotta agree with Mel here. Like, I mean, I paid 23 for my shoulders. The last shoulders went for 11, and the warlocks couldn't be bothered to spend over that. I don't know.
This tier has made me realize we need to some form of loot council in our guild going forward.
The day that the warlocks were bitching, I think it was Tuesday or Thursday. Maybe it was last week. The warlocks were bitching collectively.
I don't know that the warlocks were bitching, or it was a warlock bitching
about not getting loot. Right?
Healers seem to have no problem bidding very high amounts of DKP on non-BIS gear.
It's not non-BIS.
The pants are not the Holy Priest BIS.
Did I bid on the pants?
I don't know, but I know I've seen our warlocks lose the pants to at least a single priest or two, which is fine. It happens, but it just feels bad.
We don't have that many priests.
I know. I'm just saying that
Mel's actually she has a spreadsheet that sits next to her. She's actually pretty good at just rolling on her BIS. Or
I'm just saying
she will take second BIS though also.
Sometimes.
All I'm saying is that there are levels of help that the raid benefits based on gear, and it's never been as egregious as with Warlock tier this tier. And it's Paladins on that tier as well too. I was annoyed when our Paladin wasn't getting his tier, which is I'm not saying
I got all of my tier and I paid out the butt for it. And I don't have a skull, and they're saving for skull, and they're saving for specific items. I just went in and got the items that I needed.
I'm not saying in our DKP system you shouldn't be allowed to do it. It just got me thinking maybe DKP isn't always best, because I was like, dang, dude, I want these warlocks to be crushing. We're getting so much healer gear that you're getting it for so cheap. You guys are getting your haste rings for free, and then you have so much extra to spend. We're in a really weird scenario where a lot of you will have so much BIS, and then you're able to spend it on others. I don't know, dude. It doesn't matter. But I have been thinking dang.
Listen, there was a long time where I had no DKP, and then I gained DKP.
Listen,
and
you
then
earned
I got more pieces.
In our DKP system, you've earned it. I would never suggest that we need to change. Once you're in a system, you're locked in.
But if I got the legs, I maybe shouldn't have.
I'm just
I'm still I just lie about stuff. I don't actually know if any of you priests got that. It really helps my point though if I say that you did.
So I'm still I'm still on the same like, I've been on the same gearing path that we talked about way back when we first started the pod when I was a warrior in vanilla. I was the last person to get weapons because, like, if an item was gonna be best for me and better, I just rolled on it, you know? Like, I just went
Yeah.
for it, and I went for it, like, I learned later not to super overpay, but, like, I did pay more than generally most people for most of the BIS gear that I got, and it was just, like, it felt smarter to me to do it that way than to, like, hold out for an item and be weaker and weaker every week going on just to make sure I got that item, you know? And so I still can't believe though, I got the like BIS robe vestments for like 23 DKP, which was absurd to me because I bid 58.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I
so
feel like
like
the
it's just
problem
like,
I feel like
okay,
the
I don't
problem is
know.
too, our guild now that our guild is smaller, and then also I would overall, I mean, I would say that we're the most tight knit that we've ever been in Varg. Like I would definitely say that we had like I don't know. DKP makes less and less sense the more chill everybody is too. So like we have an issue where both of our hunters are extraordinarily chill and they just pass each other gear, but not in like a collusion way. Like Blunder will just be like, "Oh, Butter should have the first bow," and just like lets him have it. But it's like this totally
But he
destroys the
like,
DKP
well, okay,
system.
see like the locks have gotten cool, right? We've gotten real cool. Like we discuss who's gonna do curses based on, you know, yada yada yada. We discuss like we've gotten super like tight, like tight knit and like like but we tell each other like, hey, I'm going to bid on this. Like you're gonna have to give the bank for it. Like, and so
Well, I mean,
we
that's
do,
it.
you know, like we try to play it as DKP should be played instead of trying to
Yeah,
screw
yeah,
every other
which is
class out of
which is
stuff.
fine too. But at the same time, too, you guys are smart, and the smarter players are. You guys are only going to spend DKP on the like big upgrades for yourself as well too. So it already is coming down to like that's almost what like loot list would look like at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
True.
DKP works when you have a bunch of people who are like chaotic and you need some like really stringent like well this guy can do that and like
Well, I mean, I've talked about it with many people on on my stream before. We're the only DKP guild that I know of that clears content at the level that we clear. Like I don't know any other people that are our same level of skill. Like I mean, to like just give an example, like we have, you know, we have a good 10 to 15 people that are 96 parsing or higher on most fights. Like I don't know any guild like that that does DKP. And like it's definitely we're a weird phenomenon in that
Yeah.
sense. And I think it's because of the
Okay.
way you guys came with the blind bid and everything. It actually works better than traditional
we
DKP.
needed something
But
like this with 40 people in classic. I
Mhm.
just think that as we get like tighter and smaller, I think that it
I
becomes
mean,
more
I
To be
am fine
fair,
if you
I
guys want to put in the
think
work. It's just a lot of work. And since I'm not going to be putting in the work, I'm not pressuring it. You know what I mean?
never mind. I don't have anything to say.
All right,
Yeah,
sweet.
we're potentially thinking about going back to LC for Wrath because loot list is fine. The problem is like it like so loot list would have been perfect, I think, in classic for us because it really would have expedited the loot. But like it's almost to the point now where it's kind of overkill because there's only 25 people. And what happens is I think a lot of loot goes places where we wouldn't have made the decision to go to loot council. So, and the fact that gear pretty much assigns itself even more in Wrath, we're thinking about going back to LC because loot lists might just be overkill at this point.
If you have a
Yeah.
good officer core, I don't like LC, I think is the way to go.
Yeah,
It's just a
Yeah, it's
lot of
definitely
work for the officers and a lot of stress.
yeah.
or none at all. Frankly, to me, I mean, I don't know.
LC was a pain in the ass at classic, to be honest.
in Classic, I can definitely imagine. Right now, I would get some real sick enjoyment handing out loot and making people mad. So let's.
But do you think it would increase callouts? Like, do you think it would increase like people not showing up because?
Well, it would definitely increase
then you would never get
attendance.
anything.
Yeah, it would
You would
definitely
never- yeah.
increase. It would definitely increase attendance because people like losing 6 DKP for not showing up at night, or having your name be soured in the eyes of the officers. I mean, it would definitely be a much more well-behaved raid. I can guarantee that across the board.
Yeah, Lootless does that too because we have penalties, right? So
Yeah.
you're allowed 3 unexcused absences per raid tier. Anything after that, even if it's work related, you get dinged. Just the way it is. Like people show
I mean,
up. And,
you have to.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, regardless of your excuses.
Yeah, DKP just feels super micromanagey, where like at a big company you need DKP because it's like, okay, someone called out absent, you get, okay, you had an unexcused absent, you're docked 3 DKP, or you didn't show up, you didn't get your 6 DKP. Like there's no actual management involved. It's just like a numbers thing. But
that's
we're not
another
really
thing though, Yip. I don't think we've had an unexcused absence in a while, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Like all these things are antiquated because people show up and people like, it's like it's just So
I feel like DKP is important when you're trying to improve attendance, right? Because
it can be, especially at the beginning of a tier or something like that too, or like if people are tight, no one is gonna if someone's only like 5 DKP ahead of someone, no one's gonna like miss and lose their spot,
right?
I don't know. It's interesting.
And we have decay too. We have decay too, right? So,
which I think a lot of people forget. Like you're sitting at 100 DKP, a 5% decay is a whole raid night.
Yep. Yeah.
I know.
Let's get into the news.
That's how I got enough.
We should move on. All right, guys, we could probably talk about this forever, but we're moving on. Wait, hold on. The guild leader is in the chat. LC is tough before you know all the players really well also. But I think you know all of us pretty well, Harskar. But we're going to move on. This is a discussion we could probably have later. We've got a lot to get through. So let's move on to the news. So first off in the news, it's just something fun that I thought was neat. Wowhead put it out and brought up an old YouTube video of Ian... I still always want to read that Ion, but Ian Hazzikostas, the what is he, the lead of
I'm sorry,
World
is that
of Warcraft?
Spelled with an O?
Yeah, it's Ion, like how you spell the word Ion.
But it is pronounced Ian. He pronounces
that's like
Ian.
saying GIF is GIF. Like, get out of here.
I don't want to talk about that. Rest in peace. That guy just died. I don't want to start this.
Wait,
GIF
what?
Right now.
What?
The guy who invented GIFs just died.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ian.
I thought you meant Ian.
Jesus.
No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to have a fight about GIF because
we're not going to have GIF. We're not going to have GIF.
This reminds me of the time the Cargos told me that Grays died. And he was talking about his hardcore character, and my heart fucking jumped for a second.
God.
Dude,
and I'm just
really,
like, and he was like really sad. He's like, bro, Grace died today. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he's like,
I was like,
oh, I meant the hardcore character. I'm like, Jesus, dude. Like,
oh, man.
I made this mistake one time. I was a manager and I said, so-and-so is no longer with us. And everybody looked at me and they were like, and I was like, they're, what? And then I realized that they all thought I meant they died.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's
right. Okay, well, so
live in New Orleans.
So Ian Hazzikostas, who used to be, before he worked for Blizzard, he was the leader of Elitist Jerks, the guys that made all of our guides, through Vanilla and TBC and Wrath. They found an old 2008 video of him narrating a bear speed run in Zul'Aman, and it's really awesome to watch. I'm gonna have it in the show notes. Should definitely check it out and watch it. But did any of you guys get a chance to watch some of it or all of it? I watched all of it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's cool. It was kind of cute to watch. They got a holy prop paladin in there who was
tanking. Yeah, I know.
They got some cute strats in there. What I thought was interesting is that I don't know, people probably don't remember this, but like in 2008, a video like this with commentary was actually very rare. Like it was much more rare to see like a full run like
Extremely
this
rare.
commentated.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, but yeah, I mean it's a cool little video.
Yeah, so
Um,
definitely check it
Wait, so
out in the
it's
show notes.
Ian commenting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's been the lead for WoW for a long time now, retail. And
So was he in 2008 the lead?
no, he was part of the guild. Elitist Jerks was their guides were what we used oftentimes to beat different encounters throughout. But he eventually got hired onto Blizzard. And yeah, he makes, I mean, great raids. From what I hear, retail still has great raids. He just dropped the ball on everything else. But
Yeah.
it's a neat thing to watch, so definitely check it out. Going on to the next part, it's basically the ZA patch notes. But last week, they did not have this info out. So I wanted to cover it, and then afterwards I wanted to get any thoughts Melderon or Yip might have because they weren't here. But the attunements for Battle of Mount Hyjal and Black Temple were removed. So like
I was surprised by
literally
that.
any alt can get into Hyjal or Black Temple with no attunement, nothing. So that was new. But if you guys want to talk about that, I just want to see if Yip or Melderon have any thoughts on any of the changes that took place during the ZA patch.
Yo, where's my PvP trinket? That's the only thing I have to say. The new one. Wasn't that supposed to come out?
The epic one?
Yeah,
I'm not
you're
sure
right.
if that was Sunwell or not. I think it's Sunwell along with the new
thought it
Panther.
was this.
Okay. Because I was a little sad about that.
What a
Melderon's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so for the attunements, I was shocked, but I am happy because I like a short attunement period because I think attunements are cool, but they are
In the beginning.
also antiquated. They are like a relic of the past. That just makes the game harder to play.
It was huge for me because I was like, you mean my rogue, if I actually get accepted to a group, can go to Hyjal right now and I don't have to talk my guild into let me kill KT once? This is awesome.
That is really useful at this point too, because like it's getting harder to get everyone to go back and do these full raids in order to get attuned. So I think that this was really smart. I want, part of me wants to be like, this is ruining the integrity of, and be like elitist about it. But my warrior is not attuned because I'm lazy. So this will get my warrior into Black Temple. I didn't want to have to bring him in for like a winter chill randomly. And this means that I can maybe start bringing in my warrior on Reliquary so that someone can actually reflect on Dead End.
Yo, we did that for the first time this week. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And like we were just talking about like not having heals show up and having like extra possible heals. Now we don't have to like sneak them in for different things to like get them attuned. If someone doesn't show up, we can maybe call in a backup and that's super cool.
Yep, and on dead servers and stuff, this will help make things flourish more too, as far as like GDKPs and pugs going on, being able to just like start a high jaw with people's alts instead of requiring
I just think attunement's really cool initially as like a gate opener, right? Like I think that it's a neat idea. And then I think they should let it go and be like, okay, you don't have to do that.
Let it go.
No, Bob.
Cold never bothered me anyway.
But like it's very cool at the beginning and then it gets less cool the further you go.
Yeah, especially when you're working on alts and stuff, it gets real less cool.
Yeah, like you don't want to have to go do these extra things to be ready for raid if you're PvPing and that's your main focus, right? Like, I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. Yeah, I think one more thing about the PvP trinket. The only thing that sucks about it not putting it out now is it's kind of because it's so expensive. It's like 45,000 honor. So putting it out now is great because it gives you time to get honor capped again before Sunwell. So it's going to have it if it comes out at Sunwell. You're gonna have to spend the 45K and then get re-honor cap to get all your offset pieces. I don't know. It's gonna be kind of a cluster F. But
Remind me of the difference between that one, because the current one is
40
which gives a
resilience,
ton
right?
more resilience.
so it gives you double from 20 to 40. Then, huh?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not huge though. Like that, like you would definitely want to get your like season 4 off pieces first, and then work towards that in the first couple weeks.
Yeah,
right?
in our comp, definitely, because I care about DPS. We're like a DPS comp, but like, yeah. But it also helps us. Like, I'm not trying not to be selfish here. It helps us then that our opponents not having more resilience right now. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause we don't
That is a bummer,
really
though.
care.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's going to come out because the next jewel crafting trinket comes out with Sunwell too. The Panther goes from blue to epic.
Right.
The same with the engineering goggles. There's a whole bunch of little upgrades that come in Sunwell, which is a little weird, to be honest. Like the last piece, but it was a lot longer in initial TBC. Like Sunwell lasted
But it's also,
forever.
I think, a lot harder.
What
It's gonna be
Right?
harder than this, I would hope.
Yeah.
I
so
really
a
hope
lot-
it's harder than this. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Sunwell's harder, like having upgrades come doesn't seem crazy. Like that
Yeah, I mean,
seems
Sunwell's a giant
appropriate.
patch. Like Sunwell, I mean, you have to keep in mind, Black Temple came out very early in TBC. So Sunwell is like, here's a bunch of new stuff coming, you
Yeah.
know? So it does make sense. Other changes that are interesting, none. I can finally do honor hold. I never got revered with honor hold on my druid because I
What?
didn't have a reason
Oh,
to
okay. fair.
on my druid. But greater drums, huge fan of greater drums. So
Mhm.
instant bears can use them now. I'm not leatherworker, so I don't use them, but instant, they're wide, they're great. Huge
Yep.
fan
You
of
can
greater
just-
drums.
Yeah, you can just buy them now. You don't have to craft them.
They're the same mats too. If you are leatherworking, they're not more expensive to craft either.
Very nice.
So that's really nice.
But you
I do
still have
feel
to
like
be a
the
leather
drum is
worker
good.
to use
To
them.
craft
Yeah.
them and use them, yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
To use them, yeah.
I mean, I know that we did get the tinnitus change, which is great. But it is funny how like there was so much talk about drums before TBC came out, and like now the good drums are coming out. It's like whatever. Like these could have just been in. Like it doesn't really.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
why
we
they
talked about
I have
that.
no
dumb.
idea why they staggered them like this.
Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about that last week. Like they fixed it with tinnitus, and then came a week later. We're like, now we're gonna do green drums too, or blue
Yeah,
drums
what was
or whatever.
the point of that?
Yeah,
I
there
have
was-
just to
I
make
don't
it
know.
more annoying. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were trying to make it more challenging because they saw so many things in Classic that people like overused, right? So it was like, if you want to be the best, you have to do this, right? And it just discouraged a lot of people, I think. And I
I just
think
can't
it was
imagine doing that and then doing nothing to chickens forever.
I
It's like
mean,
Warcraft.
the
Classic
local
6,
community was very worried about drums and they made a change to that before they launched, right? Like after launch, like there's just very little like
Yeah.
if drums would have launched at their state in Sunwell, I guarantee there probably would have been very little
yeah.
consideration as to changing them. But I think because they thought about it before they launched TBC, I think
Yeah.
that's why it was a change.
I want to make one clarification in case people probably listening, like, what the hell is Mel talking about PvP trinket? Because I'm talking about the remove impairing effects trinket, right? They did add Battlemaster trinkets with this patch for badges, not honor, which is weird, but there are new PvP trinkets that came out, just not the one I'm talking about, not the medallions or whatever you want to call them.
Oh yeah. You can now
So
get
what's different about the
same
new
things. You can get this. You can either spend 30K honor on the. It's basically the healing trinket.
The Battle Masters.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so now you could get it either with badges or honor, which
Which you'd be
Oh, you can do both. I
insane-
didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, you can get it with badges or honor, but you'd
Yeah,
be
no,
insane
could
to
get it with
Not a
honor
lot of people use
before.
them, so
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. But what I'm asking is, what is different about the trinket that you were hoping to have?
The
There's
new
more
medallion
resilience.
has more resilience on it.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's your
Um,
PvP trinket that just gets you out of
CC.
any.
Yeah,
it's
I
still
know.
it's
I was
still only
just
get you out of
curious as to
one.
what was
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
I want to
just
know
one.
why all these freak druids are wearing battle masters for PvE. I want someone to come on and fight me about this because I think they're horrible.
It's just
I
it
think
depends on the comp you're in for. Like I don't know that you use it. Like it just depends on the comp you're in, really. Like I will tell you
PvE,
that I got beat by Econo, the
PvE,
warrior, because he was using that. Oh,
player versus
PvE.
environment.
Oh, I mean, maybe a
Yeah.
tank. Yeah, maybe a tank trinket because
I'm
it's the
talking about
same
tank.
as.
Oh, dude, Last Stand is a crutch, bro. Last Stand is a crutch for 1750 health. Give me a break, dude. You're gonna wear a worse trinket all the time so that you can occasionally have 1750 more
I
health.
I
Give
have
me
no
a
idea.
break.
I mean,
Come fight
maybe
me.
10-man it could be useful depending on your comp. I have no clue.
I'm
I
talking
mean, to be
I'm
fair,
talking about
there
the
are
official druid Discord with all the smart druids in it. Recommend that trinket. I'm saying fight me. I'm not talking about like some
times.
weird
Okay,
obscure thing.
yeah. Come on. There are times where you being stuck in something could kill you, and if
Druids
you
can't be stuck in
die,
things.
what?
Druids can't be stuck in things.
Yeah, because they can just shift.
You can be stuck in fear. You could be stuck in
Mel,
that
if
might
I'm
be
stuck in
it.
fear, I'm yelling at you.
I know.
Listen,
If
I
my
can't,
fear wears off cooldown, okay? Like,
listen,
I don't know.
I have a trinket that gives me 1750 health or whatever. It's the gem, the shadow insignia from Blood Boil. And you have uh nightmare seeds, which give you 2k health on use. Uh to 100% of the time, wear a worse trinket in order to have a 1750 last stand effect on top of these other options that you already have.
I'm saying, what if you're feared? What if you're
You can't
stunned?
use it when you're feared or stunned, I would imagine. I could be
Oh,
wrong, but I don't think you can use
Yeah, if
trinket.
you're CC'd anything besides root, if you don't have control of your character, you cannot use it.
oh.
Every druid, come fight me,
My
druids. Don't
argument
play
is going
scared.
out the window. I don't
They're
know.
all it's because druids. My problem is that I was a warrior. All the warriors are all pushing numbers. All the druids are so conservative. They're all like, "Why would you wear that? You have plenty of threat already, and like, you could just be more tanky." It's like, come on, man. I'm trying to have a 99. Like, can we get on the same page here, guys? I'm trying to
Oh
optimize
God.
my DPS. That's why.
This is like when Yip would go in on his warrior and be like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna need a lot of heals," and I'd be like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, those are the good old days.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right.
Yeah, so
That's-
the next piece of news, so it's a little bit weird. So when the patch hit, all of a sudden the proc from Dragonstrike, which is the one-handed mace,
Now
that
one-handed,
has
yeah.
a haste proc. It was the haste proc from the mace that you make from blacksmithing was not stacking with haste pots. They went into the story about how originally, when the Burning Crusade launched, they did stack. Then at patch 2.4.2, they made a change to where they didn't stack, but then I'm doing the TLDR. I'll have the full post in the notes, but then in Wrath, they changed it back to where the proc and the haste pot stacked. So they decided, long story short, that since it was changed in Wrath, they're going to go ahead and change it back. So there should be a hotfix if it's not already in the game. I haven't seen it already in the game as like a blue post, but they're going to put a hotfix in to where Dragonstrike haste bonus and the haste pot do stack. So, and just for anybody curious, if you make a second Dragonstrike, now that they're one-handed, the Dragonstrike proc cannot proc twice. You can refresh the proc, but it's not going to give you double 400 haste or whatever the proc is.
It doesn't stack. It just increases your uptime that you have the haste buff. But yeah, and not stacking with haste potions is like obviously ridiculous because it stacked last patch, right? Like,
this is an example of Blizzard actually thinking outside the box and being smart. So
these sort of things, of course, are good, and maybe I'll make a second one on my warrior now.
The male succubus, though, is not an example of Blizzard being
Is it? It's too sexy.
It has too many pixels.
That stupid incubus.
I feel like Yip is very attracted to the male succubus.
It's not about attraction. It is about the fact
it has more pixels.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like higher definition. It needs to have a top on. The fact that you can see its nipples is so weird. I thought about it for the longest time. Why it seems more sexual to me than the succubi, and it's because this dude's wearing a loincloth and nothing else, and spanking his ass with a whip. It's like this is nuts.
The succubi was developed in like 12 years ago.
Yeah, but yes, I think they should. I don't know. I don't.
You wanted to update this succubi to be
I think
more
he
sexual?
needs to wear a brazier.
No, I just.
I was doing that for Melderon.
You're doing the death camp.
Yep.
I think. I don't know what I think. I think the whole thing. I just went into Kara for the first time since they added in all the men. I just I don't know what.
Men.
No, Yip.
Also, why did they change
Yip. I've got the perfect idea.
Yeah.
Yip.
Very bizarre.
Okay, so you know how Illidan has that little cloth strip across his eyes? He doesn't have it there in the picture by me.
The cursed vision.
The cursed vision.
So that little cloth strip across his eyes, we could just put that across the nipples of the...
Exactly.
Yeah, they should do that. Listen, Bob, you're bringing up a really good point, by the way.
Are you guys feeling objectified? Is this what's happening right now?
I'm saying
feeling very vulnerable?
They should be equally. I'm saying they should be equal. I think when I
so you would like to objectify the women more.
Yeah, the female succubus shouldn't have a top on.
You're absolutely right. This could be my internalized bias doing this, and I could be wrong. But when I look at those two next to each other, the incubus is pretty egregious. When you look at them next to each other, it's pretty bizarre. It doesn't.
Damn sexy Flanders.
I'm not saying you fix the problem. Here's the thing: is I'm not saying you fix a problem with objectifying women by objectifying men. Even worse, that's the wrong way to go about things, right?
But now that we're here, I'm just talking about the current state. Now that they've went with it, my only problem is that high jaw doesn't work. The only problem is that you can't LOS the Phoenix Tamer archer dudes before a lot.
Yep.
The effort is going into weird places. But actually my big problem is that the incubus is just too damn sexy. And everyone uses it now because it's funny to use it. They're using it ironically.
He's Channing Tatum from that one movie.
Right. So they've gone from objectifying women to objectifying men, which is completely not the avenue anyone is asking for, in my opinion.
A bigger issue is the harems, I think, that were in Black Temple, right? There were always male and female NPCs there. So why? Okay, so the part that drives me nuts is no world leader or would ever have a harem of individuals. Why is that so hard to believe in a fantasy world that there's a harem of men and women, not just women? So that wasn't an objectification. It was just the fact that they were sex slaves.
Yeah.
But why is that?
They're bad guys. Okay. We're going to take out the bad guys.
Okay. It's the same thing when I watch a show I'm currently watching Rain, which I hadn't watched before. And it's the same thing, right? There is a social order in their time and in their place that they are following, right? It's like watching Mad Men, right? Where it's horrific to see how they treat women, right? Game of Thrones.
No, Mad Men is the worst show.
Mad Men
I couldn't even watch it because I was you hear about these things, but then seeing it in practice, just
Yeah.
makes me literally like she was fine with it, but I was like sick to my stomach and couldn't
Well,
keep
because I
watching it.
understand how women came to be.
How did
right?
we get to this from Dragonstrike though?
Okay.
No, okay,
But
hold on.
all I want to say, we can't just like throw this out there. All I want to say is that yes, I
Changes,
think
Bob.
that there have been things that have needed to be addressed, but do we really think that this in an old world where this was the consistent, like this was the expectation, right? We're not saying that this should be appropriate. We're saying
Right.
that this is how it was. If you want
Yeah.
to fix it in retail.
It makes
Right?
Illidan
And
like
like,
some PC
if
dude now instead of a
retail-
bad guy.
Okay,
It's
so-
like,
It's
what
like
the fuck?
Retail is what it should be, okay? And
Yeah.
right now is where it was. We're in
Just to
classic.
clarify, I'm not like Yip. I love how sexy the male succubus is, and I'm just saying sexy up the female because like she's slacking. Like that's
Yeah,
where
that's
I'm
fine.
at.
That's
Gonna
fine.
happen.
There's nothing wrong with
That's
that.
not gonna happen.
I know.
Okay,
it's
I just
unfortunate.
don't know.
Or
why-
do less pixels for the male and just make it less.
I don't know if Blizzard knows about their lore. They're going to be pretty disturbed when they get to the part where Alex Straza becomes a birthing sex slave for Death
Yeah,
Ring. Like,
exactly.
do they know what is in their game?
I
like,
don't know why we have to infuse current fucking like morality
don't.
into a game. It's so
Exactly.
stupid.
Orange shows. That's a whole nother conversation.
stop, Bob. Go
Yeah.
too far.
Just
Like
let
now they're
it
called
be
like devoted
fantasy.
patrons or something. Aren't they? That's what the NPCs are called, like devoted patrons or something like that.
But
Instead of
if
what were they
you-
called
if
before?
you are going to
Yeah.
change it, just also fix Hyjal and like the people who can't get LOS and stuff, so that I can at least not complain about that as well.
yeah,
you
just
know?
Right.
concentrate on the game first and
I think honestly,
mechanics
like
first.
focus on real issues in real games and like different games that are focused on a different time period.
Yeah,
World
I
of
think-
Warcraft is not.
yeah, exactly.
It
I
is
think Bob's
focused-
point
That's a
was the
good
best. We're fighting bad guys, right? Like that's the. It's so important to have that distinction because now Illidan looks like some woke PC dude. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, dude, I've been
Doesn't make any sense.
every time we do that trash, actually, I go in and I'm like, I'm like, we're just slaughtering some people hanging out in the temple.
Yeah,
Like,
they're not. Yeah,
they're just
exactly.
lounging around, and we're just coming in here murdering them all. This is their house. This is
Yeah,
where
and-
they live.
And apparently that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
It's good. It's fine to murder people. It's really bad to have sex slaves
It's
Yes.
their
in
house.
a fantasy game. Yeah.
Yes.
They're
Yes. And you're not
whatever.
just murdering, the horrible people. You're just
Yeah.
murdering anybody you encounter.
Right. Now, if they were
be
all
honest.
women sex slaves, I could
Of
see
course.
that, right? But they weren't. They never were, and that's the part that I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to clarify, they were in Karazhan initially, but not in Black Temple, right?
Yeah, Karazhan was really confusing because I was like, they changed the mobs' names, and I was so confused. I was like, what is this? What I was like, what is? I've never seen this mob before. What does this do? I
Wait,
also
they
skipped
changed
Maiden.
in Karazhan? I haven't
Yeah,
done
on the way
Karazhan
on the
since-
way
Yeah.
to on the way to Maiden, instead of being like
Oh right. what you're talking
whatever, they are now like there's like overzealous protector and like, I don't know what they're called.
Yeah,
They're-
like
they're
God
just like-
forbid that bad guys like have sex slaves. Like what that makes them bad guys. That's the reason we're going in there. Like
That's why we're
it's just
killing them,
so, Yeah, it's so
okay?
stupid. Now you're killing, like Dip said, you're killing them for like you feel like you're so bad about it because you're just killing people that are
This is
just
just the guy.
Especially if you solo
Yeah.
farmed it for like 14 hours straight, 2 days a week for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was one-on-one
Right.
murder. that
Karazhan?
you were committing.
no, the
Nah,
the
the-
trash leading up to
Oh.
to mother.
I'm
yeah,
glad-
and this is what happens when
Karazhan.
you bring in like real world moralities is that it breaks the willing suspension of disbelief that you go in when you go into a fantasy world or a movie. You break that. You break the viewer's willing, the suspension of disbelief, which is a phenomenon that people do to themselves to make themselves feel like that movie or that game or whatever is real. And you're breaking that because you're bringing in the real world into it. It's just stupid.
Yep.
Can we just all agree that the egregious acts that happened at Blizzard would have happened regardless of the fact if there was male and female
Yes,
people in the game?
correct.
I'm just saying.
and then doing this doesn't change that.
turn
Yeah, it
all
doesn't.
women into
I-
fruit
yeah, I
and
do
we're
think-
okay.
I do think
It
that these
doesn't
are
address the
two
issue.
separate issues. I do want to say that these are two separate issues really quick.
They
though.
are.
No,
But they are
but no, not that, not what you're saying, not what you're saying. Like what we're talking about. So in there, the fact that there were male and female in Black Temple, the fact that all they're doing, they're actually just censoring the content of
yes.
it's not about equality, it's not about like we made it even between them. They're just censoring like prostitution or sex slavery or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Like that,
Yeah,
which is
it's a-
like bizarre to do because it's like
You're right. It
okay,
is a different thing. It is a
yeah,
different
like
thing, but it's equally stupid. I guess.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
very it's I think it's
Yeah.
even more egregious to do that because
Yeah.
it's like well like
So you're
like I don't know,
censoring
they're like
a-
lowering the age group. It's like E for everybody now.
All
you're
right,
censoring
so
a 20-year-old game.
Dragonstrike and Haste Potions will be procking together soon.
Whatever. You talked about an hour. You talked about airports for an hour, Bob. Leave me alone.
Was that me? Was that me?
It was you,
These poor
dude.
people.
I
are fast
threw
forwarding
one
the
tangent
podcast
in
right
at the
now.
end.
Hey.
Everyone's furiously fast forwarding the podcast. What's the next piece of news?
Yeah,
I
right.
think actually everybody's going to really get a kick out of this, but we should keep going because we still have a good deal to talk about, right?
Yeah, go.
Fine.
All right. So the next one is like for leather workers, it's going to be important. We're going to put it in the notes, but like there's not really a lot to talk about here. But there are new patterns for the new drums and stuff available in Shatrath, Garadar, Telar, Caverns
I'm
of
sorry, where's
Time, and
Garnar?
Shatrath. It's some horde place that, you know, has mud huts
yeah.
and stuff.
Nah, never mind.
So yeah, so there's new patterns. We're gonna put that in the notes so you guys can check it out. Check out the link there. But there's not really a lot to talk about here, unless somebody wants to tell me there's something to talk about here.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. All right. All right. So, and then the last piece of news is Season of Mastery news. Like they keep putting work into Season of Mastery, and I feel bad not being able to like deep dive in it because we're just not into doing these raids. And I do feel bad because they seem to be putting a lot of work in. Like so
I think for sure they are going to be repeating all of these changes because they are putting way more work in than a single season
Yeah.
worth of stuff. They're gonna keep like a lot of this for they have to. It's insane.
I honestly like we could bitch at Blizzard all we want, but like they have tried really hard here to make something neat and different, and it's just kind of went unnoticed. So I just want to talk
Listen,
about it.
can we
real
tell
quick.
them to maybe shift a couple of the focus people to the box situation in Hydro?
Yeah,
Real
I'm on that.
Maybe,
I'm-
maybe.
The fact they got like they got developers popping in on raids to change them live for Season of Mastery, and they're
Right.
like, we can't raid Hydro. Like it is a you know.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I get that. But okay, so just to let everybody know, the gate opening, like all of that stuff, like the war effort is going to happen. It's going to be on a faster pace, but someone is going to have to do the Scepter of Shifting Sands quest.
Wait, are you
quest line to
saying
open
like
it.
both Horde and Alliance?
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it. They're basically going to make it so because like all of the realms aren't, you know, like
Yeah, there's no balanced
yeah,
realms
like
here.
the two big realms are not balanced, and it's mostly ally playing Season of Mastery 2, and it's going to just fill up the coffers and the donations on the Horde side on a basis. I don't know if they're gonna make it. They just say it's gonna be expedited, but like what
It'll
I'm
probably be, like,
guessing
2
is
weeks or something.
yeah, what I'm guessing is anytime Alliance donates something, it's gonna go on the Horde side too. Something of that nature.
Yeah,
But
like
you
want a singular total or something.
yeah, but you are going to have to one guild at least is going to have to do the scepter quest to open it up from what I understand so far from this. So on the small servers, I don't know how it opens because that scepter quest is no joke. So I don't know what they're gonna
Well,
do
I
there.
think just in original classic, that's funny. But in original classic, they eventually like dropped
Yeah,
the
the scepter
gate.
quest isn't that hard. I think Bob's
Is it?
exaggerating how hard the
It's just
scepter quest
long, I
is.
guess.
The problem is that, like, on a small server that's empty, as long as you have enough people to raid, like, if you already have enough people to raid, you can do the scepter quest. The problem
Yeah.
was, like, if you're on a big server with a lot of PvP going on, that's I think a bigger problem for getting the scepter quest done than
Which is
just being
not
on
the
a small
case in
server.
Season of
But
Mastery.
if your
Yeah.
server's so small you can't get it done, then your server's probably too small to even raid AQ anyway. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's kind of like an even problem there.
Yeah, I guess so. And they're changing it to where you have a say in how hard mode your dungeon gets. Like after you kill the first boss in AQ, you're gonna basically
What?
choose a difficulty, like whether it be green, blue, purple, or red. And it's going to give you, they don't have all the information about what the debuffs are, but they're going to give you different debuffs and change different things in the fight. It looks kind of cool. This is all, also, this isn't from Blizzard. This is all data mined information. So subject to change, but I just wanted to bring it up because there's also Naxxar Ramus stuff that's been data mined from the current stuff that's out too, and it looks like there's a lot of different changes coming there too. So
Okay, so what if you do it on green? Can you then move to blue and then move to purple? Or
It'll
like
just
if
be
you
for
do
your,
it on green, are
it'll just
you
be your
fucked?
reset. It'll probably just be for your reset.
yeah, I think it'll
Every
just
week,
be
just choose.
yeah.
Or
Oh,
not at all because it's all data mine info and there's kind of no.
Yeah, it's just like I just
It
wanted
might not
to
come
bring
out
it
at
up.
all.
Yeah, there's a good article on Wowhead. I will add it in the notes so you guys can look it over if you're interested in it, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. Just wanted to let you know that they're still working on changes for Season of Mastery, and I feel bad that not a lot of
hey,
people
yep.
are
Did
doing
you
it.
hear I hit
Too
60?
soon, Executus.
Oh, congrats.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Nice. Congrats.
Yep, my second character and her first
Yeah.
character.
Conveniently, Yip was not on the episode after I hit 60.
Well, no,
Yeah,
actually,
I knew
you
that's all you
didn't
guys would
though.
be talking about, so I skipped. Oh.
But no, like if you actually, the audio version doesn't have it, of course, but if you watch the YouTube of last week's episode, it was a short episode, but Mel and I just continued right on after the episode and actually hit 60 on our hardcore
yeah.
tunes. So
I was
if you want to check
close.
that out, it's
Oh.
on YouTube. And so we didn't actually hit 60 until after the show last week.
Okay, so we should have talked about that in what we did last
We
week.
probably should have. I
true.
didn't even think about that. Like it felt
Yeah,
like the
you guys hit
podcast because
60
we
and
did it
hardcore
like
duo.
right after.
Yeah. But yeah, we hit 60.
Yeah, we did the
Yeah.
long like RP walk through Stormwind, and yeah, it was a whole thing.
Nice. I feel like did just the TLDR and SOM's just too soon. I feel like it would have been a lot
It
better
was.
if it was after Wrath.
Yeah,
Agreed.
same.
However, we were saying that I do think that a lot of these changes are probably gonna stay for their next season of Classic. So like it probably is good they're hammering stuff out when no
Yeah,
one's playing.
the guinea
then maybe
pigs are
we'll
guinea
get-
pigging for us.
Yeah,
That's-
we might get the
yeah.
best version when we
Yeah,
are
that's
ready
true.
to go back.
You just hope that with Microsoft taking over that they don't say like, hey, this is a project that's not bringing in enough
Right.
revenue, right? Like
Right.
you have to think that that's the thing. Like Microsoft is going to come in and they're going to evaluate everything that they're doing. They're going to see how much profit and revenue that things are bringing in, and they're going to make changes. And
Don't do it, Bob.
if they're making
Yeah, Bob's
changes
like
off of the
ready to
current
spring.
data, I know.
Microsoft actually they don't like money. Now moving
You're
on.
doing
to
you're doing
discuss-
it now. You're doing it.
I'm joking. Nah, moving on.
Yep. Let's go to the next thing.
All right, so let's move on to discussion. All right, guys, the time has come. Zul'Aman has released. We've all done it except for Melderon. Melderon watched as his friends and colleagues did it. Melderon, why did you watch? Just curious, because we had 3 groups going.
We only did 2. So we had 13 and 13 basically, and 3 people sat from each group. So I elected to sit because, to be honest, like 10 mans aren't really my thing. Number 1, number 2, there's no really relevant upgrades for me in there. It's just kind of feel like a waste of time taking loot from people or potentially taking loot. I wouldn't take it anyway, so it would just be kind of just there.
Gotcha.
And they got both groups got bears. Like it wasn't like they didn't have enough
nice.
DPS or
Well,
so yeah.
Real quick before we get into how our runs went, I do want to point out something that I'm not sure that the PTR was set up actually how live is, because Sarth, and I don't think Sarth lied. Sarth, said that him and his group wiped 7 times, but still completed the bear run. Now, when you wipe on live, you lose, each person that dies loses 10 seconds off your time. So if you have a full wipe, that's 1 minute 40 seconds plus however much time it takes you to res rebuff or walk back rebuff. So I don't see how 7 wipes is actually possible on the live version, because that's not what we saw.
I do believe that the time must have been messed up on PTR, because
I think they just made it easier so they'd see it.
I don't think ZA was I don't think it's easier or harder based on them, but it's way less lenient live, because I was hearing people saying that you could wipe multiple times and still make bear.
Many people say that.
I mean, you can definitely wipe a little bit, but like 7 times, like I don't think it's as lenient as people were saying.
Yeah, one of our groups wiped once, the other group didn't wipe, and they were all pretty close to timer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, like pretty close, meaning like they only had a few minutes to spare. So
yeah, we wiped.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just talk about how my group did. We had 3 groups. We wiped. Just once. But we also we weren't moving that fast, nor were we very prepared. Like we didn't know, we were like, which way do we go? And like we pulled extra packs. Like we weren't really like trying to hit the bear, and we were like 1 minute off.
Yeah,
or like we were like right there. We're like, well, we're obviously gonna make it going forward. But it was like, there's no way people were wiping 5-6 times and making this time, right? Like we're not going that slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I found the this overall, if Bob lets me talk about this, I found the difficulty to be like totally good. Like it was, if you're rating current tier content, like it's not like super hard or anything like that. And I think the time is right. It'll keep it like fast enough that every week that you are getting through it like quickly, because you're gonna be doing a lot of these. Like you don't really want it to be.
Well, I feel like it made
Very
it
hard.
challenging, right? Like, which is kind of nice. If we could have wiped 7 times,
Semi-challenging, right?
Well, I'm saying if we could have wiped 7 times, or if we could have wiped as many times as we did, like, and still gotten it, I feel like it would have been like, okay.
Disappointing.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
yeah.
Our group, we wiped less than 7 times, but our group was scuffed on accident.
Hey,
So
Yip,
first off,
who put together the groups?
well, the groups had to change because people called in sick, but so our group was scuffed for multiple reasons. It was like basically lots of us
We
came
had 3
in
healers.
lots of us on the start came in not knowing how to do stuff. The only people that really had any insights on the fight was our pally tank gun fam. Or wait, no, gun. What the heck's the last part of his name? Gun
That's
fam.
right. That's his name.
All right, cool. And then Casimo, and they had knowledge, but it wasn't completely accurate knowledge for lots of the fights, but it was definitely knowledge that others like me did not know.
Or me.
And unfortunately, I was not as prepared as I should have been, because I got told by everybody how easy it was. But we also had our warrior that was going to be our off tank. He was under the impression that he needed to go prot. Another bad idea. Like he should have been Fury and just or even arms, and just been off taking a few different things. Then on top of that, we had 3 heals. And then on top of that, we had a DPS
One
that was
chamois.
under geared. We also only had 1 chamois. Like, so it was kind of just a bad scuff comp to begin with. But
We're pretty close though.
Yeah, I mean, we got 3 chests, and then we were under the impression that every boss gave you extra time, but it's only the first 2 bosses that give you extra time. So we were actually kind of taking more time than we had to because
Yeah,
we're like,
we
oh,
thought
we're
we had
good.
more time also than we did.
Yeah. We were like, wait, and like,
Why
and
didn't we
then
get extra time?
yeah, and I mean, if we like the third boss, like Cassimo was like, "Well, just go down and talk to let the slave out, and you know we're gonna get more time." And then more time didn't come up. We were like, "Did we do that right? Did we? What's up?" And then my chat's like, "No, you only get extra time for 2 bosses." I'm like, "Damn it, chat." Chat helped out a lot though, so thank you guys for showing up and like helping us with the different mechanics. But we did the boss that has the ads that come out, and
Okay,
we
so
did
the
it
one
completely wrong the first time because the ads, we let both of them go, and then there was more ads than you could possibly fathom that came out. We wiped.
Yeah.
Then we found out, oh, you kill one ad, you let the other one go, but then our rogue ended up killing him before he got done releasing the other ads, and then they released all the ads again. There was a lot of mistakes made,
yeah,
but
like you can't kill both.
I think
And
that group still, even though it was scuffed, could have gotten the time done if we had known all the mechanics.
That's
okay,
how we went too. I said we kill one of them, and then
mhm,
Fab was like, "Oh, I think I can solo this other one before he even gets there," and we killed both of them.
yep,
And then, but yeah, like the thing is, like, we didn't exact. I mean, that's the point. Like, we almost made time without knowing like anything about the raid,
yes.
basically. So
So,
I'm
okay, that
it
makes me
isn't.
feel better. Like you went
Well,
in not knowing shit
Oh,
too.
we didn't know
Okay,
anything
good,
about what
good.
was
That
going
makes me
on.
feel way better.
Don't worry. It was, and I that's what I going in. I said I was like, listen, I would like to get 3 chests. This is not a bear run because like what is we're gonna be doing ZA so much that
yeah,
all our mains are gonna have
we'll be
bears.
fine with bears.
Like I just want to see the raid first, and like yeah, we're obviously gonna make time every time. I do like that there was a lot of damage that goes out on some of the boss fights. There were
Yeah.
like I think it's what's cool is depending on the pugs you get into, the time is going to matter a lot, and I think that that's like exactly the level of difficulty it should be. If you're raiding
Agreed.
Hijaw and Black Temple every week, you should be able to do ZA pretty easily timed. But if you're like pugging with alts, or if you just find random people to do it with, it will be like, I don't know. I hope we can do this time. Even if not for
Yeah.
the bear, even just for the loot, like I think you could run into some
Mhm.
problems.
And Mel,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
wanted
we
to say
ran
something.
into yeah, no, we ran into quite a bit of problems. We had 3 healers, but to be honest, like there was the one boss that it was the last boss maybe. The shadow like bolts that just kept coming
Second to
out,
last,
Second to
shadow
Malice
last
Pack.
shards.
boss, yes.
Yeah, that it was so much damage, right? And we had a chamois healer, a priest healer with circle of healing, and a druid. And it was so much damage. And then all of a sudden, but we also didn't have the damage on the boss, right? Because we had the secondary tank who was prot, who didn't need to be prot, and we were also 3 healing. So it was like a mana fight constantly throughout the entire like raid. And that was difficult. I
I
think
think I do want to say I think it's fine if he's prot. It's just you wouldn't want 2 prots and 3 healers. That was the
right,
like the combo made it like pretty
real
rough. And
slow.
you had like a random hunter in there who I think he was doing good from what I was looking at, but it is just like
Yeah.
you guys did I agree. I was saying that
Wait,
my group was I was like
was that a random hunter? I thought that was
it's
somebody's
someone's friend.
friend.
It's someone's
Okay,
friend.
cool.
It's not like a random hunter. But like it's not a guild
Oh,
hunter,
did
so
you
there
guys
is
just
like
threw us with a pug and we didn't even know?
yeah. So my group was supposed to be like the underdog group, and I thought we were. And I was like, "Ooh, the other group's still in there because you guys have 2 warlocks, the
Oh
paladin
no,
tank."
you're gonna talk
And then I
about the
looked at
tornadoes?
no, I just looked at the group and I was like,
Oh.
"Oh, never mind. This is the most scuffed group actually. Whoops!" Like I didn't
Yeah.
realize how scuffed your group was from the
The best thing
changes.
the best thing is everybody in the group, like Casimo and like Gun, everybody are like sitting there like, yeah, the best thing about this is that we've warned the fights. We know
Casimir was so positive the
anything
whole time.
that is gonna happen
He's like, well,
in the fights.
he's like, well, if you wipe over and over again, you actually get to understand and see the mechanics. We're just like, Casimir, you're so nice.
Which is true. Like, I could go in next week and it could be a like easy peasy, but like I know what's gonna happen if so and so stands here. And can we talk about the fact that there's fire that spawns between the gates of you and the boss?
Oh, that
Yeah.
screwed us
Every
multiple
group-
times.
Every group locked people out on the first pull for Zul'Aman. Like, what is the point of that? Like,
I am very aware of being in front of a door. Okay? I am not aware that I need to be in front of a stair. Right? Like,
it's just weird that you could be at the top of the stairs and still be locked out. That's the only thing that's weird.
I
is
think you're
that-
just hating on troll construction. I think that's what it is. You alliance people
I
aren't used
do.
to it.
I
Yeah,
was getting
definitely.
lost in there because trolls really do not have very
Freaking horde.
varied architecture. Everything is just
Yeah.
ruins.
Mud huts and
And
whatnot.
spikes.
These aren't horde trolls though. Anyway, these are
They
no.
aren't, but they
horde
have
trolls.
very similar.
I think
Mm.
I think they get retconned later because in current lore for ZA, forest trolls are like actually horrible. They're cannibals. They go around eating each other and eating people, and like they make like
so cannibalism's fine, but sex slavery is not. Okay, now I see the line. Okay.
Oh, I get it.
I'm glad you understand, Melderon. I'm glad
Yeah.
you understand.
Got it.
Melderon's real
Bad
point is like,
guys.
oh, cannibalism's fine, but my PvP trinket can't be in the game.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
But yeah, but then these trolls do join. Like Zul'Aman becomes the leader of the horde later, and this dude's out here eating people. Like I think they must retcon some of this, somehow vicious these people are.
Listen, I will say that the healing of ZA is fairly intensive for the bosses for raid healing. Like, I don't know if anybody like
I'm not gonna call your group out. We did watch a stream of someone anonymous. I won't say who. Your group was
Me.
taking a lot of damage that is avoidable.
And
Okay.
also,
That's all I'll say.
also just not killing, like not getting through the phases as fast is just going to mean more damage too.
I think knowing the fights matters too. So Spirit Bolt hurts a ton, right? Like I bet that was a big panic moment.
Mhm.
It always hits for 9k though. So no one will die if you heal them like 2k and then move on to the next person. Like there's a
Yeah,
limit
but
to
I
how
just
much
circle of
damage it does.
healing.
Well, yeah, okay, sure. But I mean like maybe if you're a different class or something. Like there are like I just mean like I think that if you know the fights, it's not as crazy. I
But
really
there were
do think
so
that in
many
Pugs, it's gonna
times-
be really hard though.
There were so many times where like Gunt would just die. Or
Yeah, the damage was
Pussy
way
would
higher.
just die.
I got knocked down to a really low amount of health. Like I took a cleave, a saber lash, I think they're called in there. I took a cleave that I wasn't soaked by Fabulous, and I got like one shot, or I died
Oh,
in a
yeah.
global from it, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Whoa,
we
that was
learned that
way
you
more
had
than
to
I was
have
thinking."
somebody in front of the
Yeah.
boss on a couple things. Yeah, that was a eye opener.
Yeah, I knew
We
you
were
did,
like-
but I didn't think that the damage would be as high as it was. It definitely was higher
No.
damage than I was expecting in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being there like I'm like healing Gunt, and then all of a sudden he's dead, and I'm like, whoa! I was spam healing Gunt. Like, what just happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The fight that he needed a soaker, he was literally one shot, like because there
yeah.
wasn't a soak there, but it was
But I
it was
also think we
actually more
became-
fun going in there not knowing anything and like
Yeah,
I mean it
Kinda
was a
learning
lot
together.
more fun. Yeah,
kinda
and
felt
everybody
like
in the
we were,
group
like-
was chill, so it made it better.
yeah. But I also think that damn it, I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Well, I say I was hoping some drama was starting because there was one point on Zul'Aman. You guys watched a couple times,
Mhm.
and we're all watching Bob's stream, and then at one point, Theorist like leaves the raid group, and I was like, "Did he just rage quit? Oh my god, someone just rage quit!" And then he was like, He was like, "Oops, I pressed my Hearthstone or my Ghetto Hearth macro." I was like, "Dang, dude!" I thought it was about to go down. Someone,
Oh.
I was like, "Dude, rage quitting on like the third pull of an end boss is like pretty quick. Like, what else was happening during
Yeah.
this?"
Well, so on that Zul'Aman fight, we'll just I'll just call myself out here. We're like doing the fight. I don't know anything about the fight, like, and I'm just like I told like stream like when we started, I was like every time I go into a new dungeon, like I'm just wide eyed and confused like the whole time and like trying to like figure out if I'm doing something wrong and like messing with shit, and I'm just really smooth brained the first time I'm ever in an instance, and so I was doing that here, and I'm trying to DPS during this one stage, and all that's told to me is get to a corner and just DPS the boss during this fight. There was no mention of tornadoes, but like it was just get to a corner. So I get to a corner and my view is horrible. Like I just have it back and like you can barely see anything because it just zooms up right on the back of my head. And I'm just DPSing. I'm just taking all this damage. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And Yip's in my chat going, Bob, tornadoes. Which I didn't see until after the fight was over. But I'm just like, everybody's in my chat going, tornadoes. And I'm just taking damage.
Bob's basically in first person, just getting knocked about. He can't see anything.
But
like,
I'm in the corner. Yeah, I'm in the corner. So it's just knocking me back in.
To be in
like,
the corner, by the way.
Well, okay, but I didn't know that at the time. And I'm just getting knocked back. And like, I'm in first person, so I can't see that I'm getting knocked all over the place. I'm just getting knocked back and forth inside the corner because I'm hitting each side of the corner. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. And then we end the fight and they're like, Bob. I see all the Bob tornado talk, and I'm like, oh, okay. So then the next time I did dodge well, but like there was so many things that just went wrong, and like for me, I was just really just sitting there just trying to like, oh, I don't want to be the one that fucks up, and I was the one that fucked up.
To be fair, we definitely helped every future group in our guild understand.
Yeah, because we were the last one, and everybody in the guild joined the stream to like poke fun at us. Like,
hey, we were nice. I told everyone to be nice because it could have been us. I was like, dude,
you could have had 3 healers and 2.
Well, I really thought you guys had I really thought you guys had a better group until we all got there and we all kind of understood. It was like, oh, okay, like
we just couldn't kill
3
things
healers,
fast enough.
2 prots, yeah, and like there is I totally get it. Like I think that
I got a bit of a hot take on this.
Oh, let's hear it.
You can't change it now because it's already been implemented, and I think it would be a disservice to everyone who's already run it. But watching us get it in the first time and you guys were really close. Do you think for
one of our
TBC,
groups got it, but 2 of them, the second group, not us, had 2 minutes when they pulled the boss, and then ours ran out like 1 pack before we hit the last boss.
So close. I think for fresh TBC they should make it harder.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's
like every legitimately every player is going to have a bear. Like, and
that, by the end,
not
and that's just weird.
Leave the gear the same. I see no reason to not make the bear like an extreme hard thing. That's what I was saying too. I was like, I don't know why you guys even care about the bear. In original TBC, it was like a cool thing to have it.
Yeah.
Every person in a month from now is gonna be riding around on this bear because everyone is gonna be able to do it, and we all know about it, and like it's not gonna have this any kind of
you could have.
It's literally only cool if you have it right now.
You could have.
If you have it right now, it's cool. In 3 weeks, 2 weeks, it's not cool anymore.
You could have made it to where it literally just sets you at a hard time when you kill the third boss. Like it'll take away time, and you have a hard set 4 or 5 minutes, and that would mean like you had to have a perfect group to get to the next boss and kill them before it happens. You know what I mean? Like that's something that could have changed.
I do think that you should have to chain pull it's bizarre that you can make the time doing like one pull at a time, killing it, pull, mana. Like we had no urgency in the way that we did it, and
Yeah.
we would have made it just by like knowing the path a little bit better. Like
Yeah.
that was
It's
basically
bizarre
where we
to
were
me
at.
to think that we could have gotten it if we had had a slightly better comp or even just understood the fights better.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. Yeah.
next week, I guarantee you we get it.
Yeah, I
And
think the only
that's
reason our two
frustrating.
groups had it, we had two previous bear runners so one in each group, right? Two previously from TBC
Yeah.
that know how to do it. So it was like, you know, and if we didn't have those people, it probably would have been the same boat as you guys are in, right?
ZA
I
was
just
the
think
first
it's too
time-
attainable right now. The bottom
Yeah,
It
bear.
is.
Yeah.
ZA was the
It
first
just doesn't
time.
make it cool.
Yeah.
See, it was the first time that I started getting stuff wrong from my memory. So like no other raid we've done, I've done enough of, I feel like, where I was like, oops, I'm wrong, or like I guess Kara is like pretty straightforward. But in CA, I was like, I'm pretty sure you can jump up on this wall. And I did a lot of CA on a private server back in the day because I wanted to play a holy paladin, but I didn't want to level it. So like all my memory about this place was just so wrong. I was like, I'm pretty sure the bear comes out of a chest at the end. And everyone was like, no, it
Mhm.
doesn't. But I'm like,
Eh,
dude,
dude.
it must have on that server because I vividly remember getting the bear after killing Zul'Jin, and it's like, dude, what is going on? This is the first time I have incorrect memories of a place, and I'm just like dragging people. Like I'm like, I think you can jump up this wall, and it's like, oh, there's an invisible wall here.
Oh,
Whoops.
a lot of invisible walls.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
ran
invisible
into a
walls in there.
bunch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Something that happened for me also. We have 8 minutes left, right? We're pulling right. This is like before Malacry, so it's like we have actually just 8 minutes left to get to the last like avatar boss and get this done. Bingo calls me, my brother, and he's locked out of the house. And I'm like,
Oh
I
no.
can't come get you.
Oh
I
no.
was like, dude, I can't get you for 8 minutes, bro. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Luckily there was someone else here and he was able to get in on his own. But like, I had to just be like, you're stuck outside.
Yeah, that's funny, dude.
But you know, what are you
Oh,
gonna do? He plays.
man.
He knows what's up. He gets it. It's a timed run. What can I? The thing is, like, he's not playing TBC,
That's-
so like he probably doesn't know exactly what I mean when I say timed run. He's like, dude, I know. Wow, like I know that. I know you could have taken a minute to let me in the house, but it was just like pretty funny.
He's
That
like,
is
yeah,
so
what
funny.
boss fight is longer than 8 minutes?
Exactly.
Yeah. The same thing is going to happen with the Bronze Drake and Wrath. Everyone's going to have
Yep.
that too.
Yeah. I mean, I had the Bronze Drake back in the day.
I
Yeah,
did
so did
too.
I. So I
That
think that
was
was
my
already
first
really
mount.
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it had.
I think that was already really easy. So maybe that has to be thought about too. But
Well, I'm interested in. Am I crazy? You don't get the obsidian or the black drake unless you do it with all the mounts up, all the dragons up, the obsidian sanctum or
All
whatever.
the 3 drakes up, you get the mount.
Yeah, like that's something that will be.
Mel
I
is
think
the
that
only
more
one I
people will
know
have.
personally to ever get that mount. Punk.
Nice. But yeah, I do agree. Like I think the gear speed is correct, but yeah, for like the mount, making it a little more prestigious is good. I think that pugs will be able to do it right away, but I also think that there will be plenty of pugs that are struggling in there. So some people are probably going to feel differently. Some people might feel like this is going to be hard. I did read a thread on Reddit.
potentially, but pugs are pugs, right? Like who cares about
Exactly.
pugs?
Well, I read a thread on Reddit today. I apologize if this is somebody listening, and they were talking about how they were raid leading SSC for the first time, and they didn't kill a single boss in 4 hours. They couldn't kill Lurker. They couldn't kill Hydros. They couldn't kill anything. And like people, I think they ended up linking the logs, and people were like, you had like 8 trash pulls. It took you like 24 minutes between every wipe or something to like pull again and stuff. Like there are all these problems, and I was like, okay, some people are gonna disagree with like the easiness of certain stuff. Like we can't account for these. Like you had 10 wipes on Lurker at this point. It's like you can't account for it. Like there are some people who are gonna struggle, but ZA it's pretty easy, I think, overall.
Yeah.
But
No,
overall,
tier 5 pre-nerf tier 5 is the hardest content we've seen so far.
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
opinion. Maybe Nex is kind of there too, but yeah.
like
Yeah.
overall, It was kind of fun. Like, it was kind of neat
Yeah.
to like go back to 10 man and be like, well, okay, so this is our group. How could we like what curse like for locks? We're like, what curses like is it more worthwhile because we only have 2 melee and 1 prot melee? Is it more worthwhile to like do Doom rather than Wreck? We went with Wreck, but I think Doom actually was probably the smarter. But like just like talking about those different intricacies with a not perfect raid, because we've had a pretty
Yeah.
perfect buffed raid in 25 man for a while now, and it was kind of
Yeah.
neat to like kind of speculate on like what we should be using and not using type of deal.
Yeah, we had a lot of options for how we could set up the groups, and yeah, I mean, I do like 10 man. I think it's pretty fun, and I think that the pacing of this is even better than Karazhan because it's like you do a rather short wing and then you fight a boss. You do a
Definitely, it
short
was
wing
Yeah.
of
much
Crash,
more
you fight a
fun
boss.
than
Yeah,
Kara. Like, if you
Yeah.
had a
Yeah.
bad comp, at least you know you're only doing 6 bosses, and it's much faster than Kara, right?
yeah. I just mean
Yeah.
like the trash variety. Like you only have to do a little bit. You're not doing like the same pulls over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You do a wing, you see it, you get it, you move on. Like, oh, there's cats now that are invisible. There's only like 2 or 3 of those packs. You're not fighting like a ton of these things over and over. So the
Yeah.
pacing is good, and I assume people will get down to like 50 minutes or less.
Well, and I
No,
will
definitely.
say, so Melderon, you may be able to answer this, but chamois, like chamois healers, are
Mhm.
typically raid healers, right? Like they're AoE healers.
Not as good as you guys, but yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but
Holy Priest is just so much better. But yes, they are. I mean, they can tank heal pretty well, but they don't have any really like they don't have a hot, they don't have a shield, they don't have
yeah.
yeah.
So I think that's the problem we were coming into is that like it was me and a chamois and then a druid who was undergeared, right?
Yeah.
So we had like 3 healers, quotes, but really like tank kept dying at certain points when they shouldn't have died. And it was one, like I'll take, blame for this. Like, yeah, the tank should have been focused more than the raid heals, right? But I'm used to like raid healing when a pally is focusing the tank, right? Or when
Yeah.
somebody who only has single target heals is focusing the tank. And I think all of us were in the same boat
Yeah, you're all
as
probably used to ray damage is going out. You all probably immediately swap to raid
Yeah.
healing.
So
Yeah.
shamans only excel at raid healing when people are stacked because of chain heal. So
Yeah.
that's once that doesn't happen, shamans are actually trash raid healers. They're great at healing melee. They've always been great at healing
Mhm.
melee. But in like there's a lot of fights where people have to spread out, and yeah, they're terrible. And in that situations, they should probably just focus on healing the tank or
Yeah.
chain healing off the
Yeah.
tank, something like that. Yeah.
And shamans do have the ancestral fortitude armor
Yes,
buff
which is
that
nice.
they put on. So if they are just spamming,
Yeah, priests have it too, but yes.
yeah, priests have it
Yeah.
too. But like
Yeah.
if you are a priest and shaman, having the shaman spamming the tank is still really good while you're circling.
Yeah, but Circle of
and
Healing
it's-
Circle of Healing will also proc the inspiration buff.
okay, yeah, I guess that's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah. So, I mean, either way, I think it wasn't like I can tank heal, so can a chamois, right?
Yeah.
But I think we're
Or it's
both
like
very
coordinating,
used to. I think
Raid
we're both
healing.
very used to raid healing, where
Yeah.
we're like not focused on the tank as much. And there was 2 of them,
Yeah.
and they were like both taking a lot of damage at times, but it was very staggered, right? It was
Yeah.
like all of
I
a
do like it.
sudden,
I do like
Blessing
10
would take
mans for
damage.
this reason. 10 mans are
Yeah,
cool for this
agreed.
reason because you do have to learn a little bit more and like okay, like the dude who puts out bombs, like everyone has to move. It's so much more
Mhm.
embarrassing to die to a raid mechanic when there's 10 of you that it's like like
Oh,
everyone
and I
has to
will
learn a
say it,
little
like,
bit more if you're
even in
struggling.
25 mans, like from 40 man to 25 man, like you had so much more accountability,
Yeah.
right? Now from 25 to 10 man, like you also have
Mhm.
very much more accountability. Like when we did Kara, you couldn't just slack around. Like you had to do your thing. And
Yeah, it was like
in ZA, it's the
noticeable,
same
like
thing.
a healer's AFK or something a lot. It's like
Right.
very noticeable or something. Yeah. Now that you got a
You're not
timed run,
pulling
like
your
you gotta be
weight.
on.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is much more obvious here. Like, you're
Yeah, I
just
like
over healing. Like, if I just circle of healing the whole time, like, people would have died. And it would be like, no,
well,
what are you doing?
and as
Like,
a DPS, I was like, I ran out of my drink on the first boss, but I didn't until we had like failed going to the fourth boss. I just kept eating ice because I was like, well, I can't get up. We have to keep going, and I'm like, you know, like me and the other lock were basically like each 1/4 of the damage of the raid, you know. So like it was like
yes.
I'm
Also,
gonna try
a lot
really
of
hard not to
go.
make fun of Bob here. Bob's like, it was crazy how I had to spend 40 whole minutes not AFK.
okay.
I
What I
had to
also wanna
actually
talk
ask
about-
when I went AFK because it was actually important.
Okay, what I also want to talk about is the fact that yes, Bob very successfully did not go AFK and did not need to do anything except for the fact that he needed heals because he didn't have food. So
I got food.
I had to drink.
Yeah, I got
No.
I got food after the second boss. Plus, he gave me food.
Yeah, after the second boss. Yeah, I know. In the second boss, I think is the one that I got locked out of first, where then I was like hyper aware of it. But the second boss, I think, is the one that I got locked out of first because I was like, okay, well, I'll just eat my buff food and drink and get full mana as I pull. And no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it
we all
was,
know now.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely like everybody on those bosses should just get like you won't pull if you just get right inside the square and just be there in case like you miss somebody saying I'm going to pull or anything. Like it'll make it a lot easier. But all in all, I think it was really fun. I'm looking forward to running it a bunch. Like this is so much better than. Is it ZG? Was the ketchup raid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
totally,
Yeah. ZG sucked. Like
It did suck.
this is so much
Yeah.
more fun than ZG. I can't wait to run dozens of them. I am excited about it, and yeah,
Hey,
like
wait. So if you hit the timer, do you automatically get the bear? Is that the thing?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
in like
you
a
release the
crate or
guy,
something.
I think.
Yeah.
As long as you release the guy in time, then yeah.
Yeah.
Which is different from Zul'Aman, right? Like it was like
Yeah,
you buy these
Zul'Aman's
tiger
very
packs
low.
and maybe you'll
Which we
get
got
a
another tiger
timer.
recently.
Oh yes,
Vaporeon
the
got a
mount is
tiger.
guaranteed. Yes, if you
Yeah.
make the timer. Yes, there's
I'm
no
just curious.
RNG. Yeah.
we did get
something that's-
another tiger too, which was pretty sick.
Sicilian tiger. We now have 2 in our guild.
Oh, nice. Something that you wrote about Kara. Like, I want to admit, I definitely had rose-colored goggles on with Kara. Like, I think a lot of people did. Like, people were like, "Oh, it's my favorite raid," blah blah blah. And I got back in there, dude, and I got tired of that place so quick.
Yeah, it was just
You know,
so
like-
long,
So
but
bad.
it was
Yeah.
cool. I mean, it was definitely
the
a well
ambiance is
designed.
amazing. Yeah, I
mean,
love the way it
first-
looks.
It was weird because you're right, but the first raid still. The first time we went into Kara, it lived up to my expectations. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, sure,
This place,
sure.
I'm like, this place does rule. And like the harpsichord music is playing, and I'm like,
Mhm.
dang, 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 dang. I'm like, this is awesome. And then like, yeah, like a month later, I'm like, oh my god, another Kara.
Oh,
Like,
no.
Yeah.
oh no.
I would much rather run Gruul or Melderon. Like it was just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know, and they're not even that cool. Like they're not as grandiose. They're not as big. They're not as. But yeah, man, I got super tired of Kara so quick. Yep. I don't know.
Which we'll probably get super tired of ZA very quickly too.
But
Yeah.
I think the
will
thing
be
is,
like
though-
Roll and Mag though, where it's so short that you might be tired of it, but it's just like whatever.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't,
Like, I'll
it doesn't
do it.
matter that much. Yeah, it just doesn't
Exactly.
matter.
It's like that's what makes it neat, and just I mean, you can keep improving on the run each time, and might like it might turn into bragging rights between the different groups. Well, we got done with the bear run with 7 minutes left. Y'all just did 5. I don't
Okay, to
know,
be
man.
honest, I
Yeah.
think one of the biggest benefits of ZA right now is that if we have more than 25 people, and have 30 people, that they can still run content, right? And
Mhm.
Yep.
still be prepared
You're not
to
set for the
sub
week.
in
Yeah, talking
and
about the gear.
to yeah, that's what I'm
gear's
saying.
good.
It's like we've got if we have enough people to run care or to run ZA, then we're good, right? And we don't have this like people that have never run with us before, or people that we don't really know. And ZA kind of allows us to see what their skill set is and
Or like
you
Elizabeth
know,
came back and is getting to run with us again
Yeah.
yeah,
without fully commit yet or something like that. Like it does allow you to get geared and be a part of the guild without it being like, dude, we gotta sit you every week because you're new or
right.
you're like
Yeah.
an odd
Well,
class choice. Or,
and so the gear, there is few, it depends on your class, but there's few BIS pieces there. But there's a ton of fill pieces there. A ton that are just under what you're getting in tier 6. And they're huge fill items for like if you have been unlucky on gear. Like for
True, like
instance,
caster rings.
well, dude,
Yeah.
I got the sword, right? I got the
Mhm.
sword at the end, the haste sword, and it's a slight upgrade from my sword from Leo. But I
Yeah.
was able to finally, instead of having the 40 spell damage on it, which I had when I was switching from fire to shadow, now I have soul frost on it. So it was
Mhm.
actually a big upgrade because I felt okay about changing the enchant and spending that cash. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of different fill pieces that'll help out, I think, a ton in tier 6 going
Yeah,
forward
the
for a
melee
lot of
trinket's
raids.
good. There's a spell pen or
Yep.
haste cloak. There's a So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of I think that's really good. Yeah, like you said, there's still stuff that people would want. Like the BIS, we're giving the healers the healing haste ring first, but that's BIS for casters, right? So even though it's a healing piece, it has for mages. So mages want that, even though it's a healing. It's a healing.
Okay,
ring.
well, there's a hit ring for the warlocks that's BIS in there. That's actual damage haste. So it actually
Yeah.
our BIS before was 2 rings from BT trash. Now it's the one BT ring, and that other ring is actually the BIS.
we already
That's good.
FJ got that, right? Like we already got one of those.
Oh,
Like
nice.
we got
Congrats,
some,
FJ.
we got the melee one. 2 groups got the melee one with armor pen. Like those are actual
Yeah,
BIS items. We're
we
already
got the armor pen one too, which is nice.
our 3 ZGs probably got as much usable gear as our High Jaw and Black Temple gets us. Like it was actually very nice for our raid.
Yeah.
Go there and do that.
As a GM, I'm just glad that both my groups either didn't get them out or both of them got them out, because what was going to happen, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, group 1 is so much faster and better than group 2. Blah,
I was most afraid of that.
Yep. I don't think anybody from our group complained to you once. Am I right? We definitely said we had a bad group, but we did not complain about it at all.
Your group got scuffed because of absences, and I think that is the best way to have a scuffed group. I think if your group did that bad with your actual full member, it would be awkward and be like, oh, that's weird. But looking at your group, everyone was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
That's
like
why.
it literally was not like we all found the difficulty to be harder than we were expecting, and then dude, our group had 3 shamans in it. We got double heroism on every boss fight in my group.
Come on.
It was definitely like we were feeling like
who made the groups yet?
got it.
Who made the groups?
I mean, the groups looked fine in the they looked fine in the beginning.
We were on the way home from the airport, and I was
sorry,
looking at the group, and I was like, we have 3 healers. What's happening?
Well, no, that was
That
was after. Yeah,
that was after absences.
Yeah, our initial group looked completely fine.
Yeah, we
actually looked stacked. Like, I mean, it was me and Spellcheck
and the only
as
reason
the
we had 3
DPS.
healers is because I wasn't there for Hygel, and Kim had to respec.
Yeah,
so
it was
I'm
a whole
sorry.
thing. But no, I mean it all worked out and it was fine. I think my last point on ZA is another reason it's really good is because there's no rep associated with it. The problem with ZG is that we had to do as many ZGs as we could so we could all get our BIS enchants and that was too many ZGs.
Well,
It was
and
like
then
2
the
months
stupid
of double
trinket,
resets.
the stupid trinket.
Okay, yeah, the
Oh
madness
my,
is something else.
dude, yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many things I could be like, F you, ZG.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you have your
Exactly.
bear, if we don't have enough people to run 3 forever, there
Yeah,
will
who
be
cares?
people who want to sit.
Exactly.
It
What's
won't
gonna
matter.
happen? Yeah,
And
what's
there'll
gonna
be
happen is it's
alts
gonna
that want to
drop
come
off.
in.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot. But
Yeah.
My
But you
dream,
won 1 ZA. Hey, cool.
yeah, my dream as the GM is everyone's gonna get their mount. People are gonna get any piece possible they need out of there. It's BIS, not like side grade, BIS. And I can say it's all optional now. You can make your own groups. Have a good night. Like that's what I
Exactly.
want. Like, you know what I mean?
now I do have one last final and most important part of ZG.
CA or
Frogs.
GG?
ZA.
ZA. Frogs are fun.
Okay, so Bob's over there fucking with frogs,
That's why you guys think it's mount.
and we're trying to.
No, this
figure
was
out, like,
after the
we're-
Mount Run part.
Yeah, no, this is after the Mount Run, but we're trying to loot the chest at the first boss, and Bob's over there like, and we're like, well, we're waiting for everybody to be in range because we're on group loot, so we don't want to open it and let you miss out. And he's over there like, hey, did you guys know that there's a vendor that spawns sometimes when you
Dude, I'm over there. Okay, so the little sticks or whatever that drop, you can use them on frogs, and they do different stuff. I only had 2 of them, so I only got to see 2, but one of them gave me a buff, which I kept in my bags to see if it would disappear. It does disappear, so you have to use that buff during that run. But then the second one created a food vendor where I got to buy the BIS food. I got to buy 11 of 3 different BIS foods. So I got
Nice.
explain what BIS food means.
like
You would
spell
use-
power.
You would use in raid.
Yeah, spell power. Like I got to keep 11 spell power ones for my guy, and then I got the agi ones and the strength ones, and got to just sell them on the auction house. Like I just got
Someone
to buy
got
them.
5 agility scrolls in ours.
Yeah,
5
yeah,
agility
yeah,
scrolls
and
from
it's-
one.
Yeah,
Dude, they're 18 gold a piece right now in our server.
Yeah.
dude, and they're like, and they spawn like, okay, so we know there's scroll vendors, we know there's buff guys that drop a chest, and then we know there's food guys. I don't know what else there is, but the food was like a silver a piece, and I sold
Okay,
them for
wait.
like a gold a piece. Like
So do
it
you
was
think
awesome.
that the things that we collect that spawn those on the frogs, do those expire? Like,
I'm
will I not
assuming
have
they
those?
do. I'm assuming they do.
oh, so I don't have those when I log in next time?
I don't know. You'll have to
I
check.
don't
I just
remember.
know
I
the
don't really.
buffs were gone.
They're annoying though because they don't stack, so you would never really want to keep them longer than that raid because you're gonna have so many slots filled by these sticks.
Wait, sticks? Are they sticks? I feel like
They're
they
the
weren't
hex.
sticks.
They're the hex trading sticks or
Yeah,
whatever, right?
something like that.
Voodoo hex.
You guys
But-
are making fun of the horde again. Our currency is wood, okay? God. We don't
was
have
mud.
gold pieces.
As long as it's
mud
backed
and
by the
sticks
government, it
put
doesn't
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Ours is freaking paper, right?
It's true. True.
Yeah.
Oh man, but
Yeah,
yeah.
they-
So
I'm
all in all,
walking
it was
in
a
to
good
find
time.
out.
But this is gonna be. I guess my one Sunwell coming out. I guess that's my last point that I want to bring up because
Month and a
how
half,
long? Like
2 months
you think
tops.
that scene. That feels soon to
Do
me,
you
but we
think
can't
we
do this here forever.
You think we know when Sunwell's coming out? Come on.
I just
I
mean like
feel
we've
like-
talked about Sunwell at different times. Like this is the last patch before Sunwell, right? So
I feel like it's a month and a half or 2 months tops.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
I'm so excited.
I think
for
it's
Wrath,
2 to
man.
3 months.
I don't want to rush it, but I'm so excited for Wrath.
Yeah,
A lot of people are Wrath forward at this point.
I would
A
much
lot of
rather
people are
them
thinking
do
about
it
Wrath.
quicker
What are these things
and
called?
give us more time for Sunwell. Like if they're gonna have a longer one. Also, I'm a little biased because I'm gonna be ready for season 4 Arena with both characters, like BIS to start. So like I'm a little. I'd rather a longer, season 4 Arena than a longer season 3.
Yeah.
Mel's like locked
guys,
up.
my
I can hear her
things did
talking in
not-
the other room.
It's
Did
because she opened
not-
WoW.
Yeah, Mel, close that down. What are you doing? You're gonna like mess up your recording, everything.
Did she open what did she open that
Sorry.
made it that slow?
She
I had
opened
to open
WoW.
World of Warcraft. Yeah, she opened World of
Oh.
Warcraft to check her trading sticks.
Whoa. Okay,
Uh,
am I back?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Bring up one
yeah,
more thing about
Kinda?
the
Yeah.
PC thing. So like the last guy has like one eye and one arm, right?
Dude, I made
Yeah,
The
that.
last boss.
Okay,
Yeah.
I made that joke because like two of us got locked out, and I was like, "You guys got this. The dude's only got one arm. You're good."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's okay to make fun of people with disabilities, right?
Hold
But
on, though.
not sexually.
Mm,
Well, I really hate to do this for you. I really hate to do this, but
Yeah.
trolls can regenerate limbs.
But he didn't,
Vol'jin,
though.
He
Yeah.
chooses not to
Oh,
regenerate
didn't.
his
right,
limbs.
right.
Oh,
It's
All
the
really?
choice
never
that he
mind.
makes.
My
yeah.
argument's all. Okay.
It was while he was a prisoner of war. They cut his like arm and eye out, and he like I don't know. It's like he's cool. 'cause he
Yeah,
does-
I was trying to make Blizzard feel bad about the sex slave thing again. Oh, well.
it was good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I still agree. There are people who don't get to choose their handicaps, and it's ridiculous for Blizzard to act like that is how it works. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
you guys. Come on.
Listen, I don't care about the PC stuff. I just think that Incubus is too sexy. All right, bye everyone.
I know. I know
And
you
with
do.
that,
All right. Well, I mean, unless somebody has something else to add, I think
real
this is-
close.
I think
One
this
last
is good.
thing.
All right,
Wait.
go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect because there's a delay because I can hear you out there before I hear you in here.
Wait, just
Okay,
don't stop your
just so you know.
recording, though.
I won't.
What's
So
Melderon?
my one thing is someone that works for an airline. I want feedback. I want to see a comment about what I said about that.
Okay, I want to.
that's
Okay,
fair.
I can add. I didn't want to. We were already talking way too much about airports, so I didn't chime in earlier. But now that we're at the end, I will finally say my piece. This is gonna sound crazy, and I'm not trying to brag. I have been on probably 30 flights in my life, so I'm not like I don't fly a ton, but I fly a good amount.
That's a good amount. Yeah.
I've only had one delayed flight in my entire
Oh, dude. Okay.
time.
Fuck you.
That's why I didn't
Okay.
chime in, because literally I know that that's like the meme, or like that's what everyone says. It's never happened to me. I've only had like really good flight experiences, and the
Listen,
only
I
time it was
feel like
delayed.
This was my experience when I used to fly like every once in a while, right?
Yeah,
But no.
yeah. I mean that was basically me. I was just getting real lucky. But I mean it's been enough that I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good sample size, and I hate you. Part of me hates you, but part of me is like really happy that you experienced that because
Well,
like I is totally not that.
If it makes you feel better, I have this problem. I think it's genetic. I think there might be some genetic trauma component to this, but I'm terrified. Every flight I get on, I'm increasingly afraid of flying.
Why?
My first few flights, I wasn't afraid at all. But I think of new reasons to be afraid.
It's because we're getting older and
Yeah.
understand mortality. Like, I white knuckle every time we take off and land.
Okay, no,
maybe
this
that's
is
it. But it's
this
every
is
time
similar to the feeling. Okay,
You guys should be
so-
white knuckling when you're driving. You're
what
way
I'm
more
saying.
likely to
Right.
die in a car.
True.
But you have
Yeah.
control, though.
So
You have
here's
control over your
the
car.
thing is that when I was a kid and when I was 10 years younger, I would go to the playground and enjoy being like pushed. You know how you're pushed on a swing and like you go way up and the person like walks underneath you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that terrifies me now when people do that to children.
Mm.
I'm like, what are you doing? Oh my God, they're gonna die. Like they're gonna fall off. Like they're not even holding on tightly.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, this is my life now. And
I mean,
it's
I have
horrible.
a legitimate phobia of planes. I know we joke
Yeah, but
about
you
bears a
shouldn't.
lot, but when I think about, well, that's what I mean. Like when I think about bears, I'm not afraid. But when I think
what
about
if
planes,
you
I'm not
were
afraid
on
either.
a plane
but-
with a bear?
That's fine. The plane.
That
is the worst part
sounds
of it.
like the worst
literally-
thing ever,
I-
right there,
I
Bear would
literally.
be so unhappy too. Oh my god, he'd be so
dude.
unhappy.
And you can't get away from.
Okay,
Let me in the
I don't
lavatory.
I don't even think Melderon knows about Yip's
Recurring bear
phobia.
Oh,
nightmares.
really? Bears
Like,
are amazing
I
animals.
don't have.
Yes,
Yes, they
he
are the
has
strongest and
recurring
most
bear
powerful
nightmares.
animal in North America. I just have recurring nightmares about bears. It's always like there'll be like a bear in a really inconvenient
Did this
place.
start
like-
when you switched to Druid? Real quick.
No.
Okay.
It's probably been 3 years
Since
now or something
since
like that.
ZA came out and all the bears are everywhere.
And it's not a lot, right? I don't remember my dreams a lot, but it's
Yeah.
enough, and I remember every single bear dream. So that's like, you know,
Like, are they
it's-
killing you, eating you, chasing
no,
you?
no. They're just usually in an inconvenient place, and I'm afraid they will do something. So like one of them, I was coming back to like a townhouse. It wasn't where I lived, but I was coming back to a townhouse, and I opened the door, and there was a bear in my house, and I was like, oh, and I start shutting it, but the bear puts his paw between the door, and I'm like, oh no, and I didn't know what to do, and there's a bear.
What
but
is the bear doing when you open the door?
just standing there, like
just like I'm
Hey,
Like,
yippee!
hey, buddy.
yeah.
it's
Smell the
literally just
devil's
the
bear.
fact that I am in close proximity to a bear that I'm like
Right.
afraid in the dreams. One of them though, I'm not afraid of black bears in a conventional way because black
Yeah, they're
bears
like,
are usually
they're
like
big dogs. Yeah.
exactly, and like you know, in PA we have black bears and stuff.
Yeah.
And in the Northeast we have black bears. It's like not that you see them, whatever. They're just around.
But
But
are you
I-
that cool when they're around?
yeah, but I had a dream where I left someone's baby with a room of black bears, and when I got back, the baby was gone. So like it had nothing to do. Like I was like, oh no, how could I have left this baby here? And like I wasn't afraid of the bears, but I was like still kind
Dude,
of like a nightmare involving bears.
I can't believe I didn't think of this the first time you told me the story, but that literally is, I got the baby! I stole it from a stupid kitty! Oh, come
I
on.
don't
What
know-
movie?
I don't
What
know the
movie?
reference.
Oh,
Oh,
Willow.
Oh wow!
I
haven't seen
got
that
the
in a
baby!
long time.
I stole it from a stupid kitty! And Yip's
about
the
that
stupid
movie.
kitty.
Yeah.
I was
Ah.
-4 when that came out. So
I think you have to go. I think you're gonna go to a psychiatrist about this one. Yeah, this is like seems like a really deep seated thing. Like the bear has to be mean something, you know? Like
This is
yeah, that's
why
what I
we
feel. Though.
were-
I feel like the bear means something because I'm not actually like like when I think about a bear, I'm not like anxious about bears, but I do have these dreams sometimes.
yeah.
Okay,
about
did
bears.
this start when bears were better than you and as a warrior?
I said 3 years. No, we weren't even
No,
playing
no.
Classic WoW in my first
No, this
bear
is definitely
dreams.
something else
But
unrelated.
this was,
Something else.
but Melderon, this was interesting as to when
Maybe it was
he went
clairvoyance.
to bear.
Yeah, maybe it was
right?
like
Yeah.
you
He
knew
went
bears were
to
going
a
to be
bear,
better.
and we were like, "Oh, this is when the bear phobia came out." Like, this
Oh,
is
I
when
see.
he,
When
like-
people talked about it.
I brought
So I'm waiting for the dream where the bear is the character model bear from WoW. That's like I want to see if that
That-
ever happens.
that would be cool. That
Yeah.
would be cool. I
Listen,
don't.
Why
I'm
does
gonna
everybody have to get the
make-
ZA bear?
Yeah, I want to make so many bears on Benediction. Anybody
not
make a
afraid
level
of
1 bear and just be like, "Rah!"
First of all, you
Yeah.
can't be.
You have to be
can only
level
10
20,
bear.
Melissa.
Or level 20
Or-
bear. Just kidding. 10's cat, I think. I boosted my druid. I have no idea.
Oh, no. 20's cat, 10's bear.
bear. Yeah.
My
Okay.
bad.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. As long as there's no planes in WoW, I'm okay. Oh no, there's helicopters.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
so
Yeah.
planes
Don't
are
even get me
your
started about
bigger
the
phobia.
helicopters and their noise. Here, we have to move on. We
Yeah?
have to end this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I want comments on bears. I want comments on the wokeness, and I want comments on airlines. This is what I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, me too. Me
Audience.
too.
Everyone's
Yeah.
bears woke.
I will
Yeah.
read them all, so definitely write them out and it'll be fun.
Honestly,
Maybe we'll
though,
talk
if
about it.
someone out there is experienced with like tarot cards or crystal balls who can help me understand these bear dreams, hit me up. Let's move on.
Don't ask for that. Nope. Okay.
All right, so I do want to real quickly do the add-on of the week. The add-on of the week really is, it's just a shout out to an add-on that was wonderful for TBC, and I just want to give a one last thought of love, and it's still worthwhile to have, but Attune, you did us so good throughout TBC so far, Blizzard has stolen all of your attunements, but you can still see how to get attuned for. It's easy now, but for like the different dailies and stuff. But I just wanted to give a shout out to one of the best add-ons that was in TBC. Thank you so much. You are remembered, and we love you.
And where can they make the checkout to?
Seriously, though, it was an amazing add-on that helped us so much throughout TBC. It was awesome. So thank you so much for putting in the work for that. It made my life easier, and I know it made hundreds of thousands easier as well.
Well,
Good work, Attune. This is what's that like those old beer things? Like this is to you, Attune.
yeah.
Add-on of add-ons. Good
Cheers.
job.
Cheers. All right, guys. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. You can also follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. If you want to send us something a little bit longer, email us at wcrpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join the Discord and interact with the hosts, make sure to ping us, but it's mash.gg/Discord. How can you help the podcast? You could tell your friends about the podcast. That's the best way. Tell your guild. That's, however many your guild is, whether it's 10, 25, 40, you're a massive guild. You're even a leveling guild. Like, just tell people about us. That is the best way to get the news out. You can find us on any podcatcher, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever you get your pods, you can find us. You can also find us on YouTube. It's the scuffed version. Or you can catch us live, on twitch.tv/BlazeandBob. But that's the best way to help us. The second best way to help us is reviews on iTunes and on, Spotify. You can give the, stars, but we can't read your stars out. But unfortunately, I wish we could. And then you can also leave reviews at warcraftradio.com/directory. Mel, tell them about the Patreon.
Yeah, you can visit us at mtb.gg/support to see all the ways that you can support Mash Those Buttons or us specifically. So on patreon.com/Mash Those Buttons, you can see that there's different membership rights, and you can select Warcraft Reloaded and support us any way you choose. We appreciate any of the support. And then there's a Teespring store, Twitch subscription, Humble Bumble affiliate link, so you can get Steam, Epic Game Store, Uplay, or more, and enjoy some of those benefits. There's also a PayPal one-time donation that you are free to just send to us if you are so inclined.
Also,
Awesome.
if none of those make sense for you, or if you're not in a position to do that right now, that's totally okay. You can just put us in your
100%.
will. Put us in your will.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You don't have to worry about it. We'll collect on it later.
Those are your options.
We'll just take
Will
whatever
or
you've earned.
Patreon.
Whatever you've earned.
I like this idea.
Yeah,
Thank you.
those are your options.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. Mel, where can we find you?
Find me on Twitter at MelOverwatch, or more realistically, on game at Melarena. Not at, just Melarena.
And Yip, where can we find you?
Hi, you can find me on everything at the Yip Show, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube.
Awesome. And Melderon, where can we find you?
I don't make YouTube content anymore, but I have a plethora of videos, Def Camp Melderon TV, and it's also where Def Camp will upload stream clips or new podcasts once in a while. So I still exist. I basically just do podcasts, and this one and whatever other ones I get invited on. So Def Camp Melderon TV on YouTube, Twitter. I wouldn't recommend. I don't really use it. I mean, Def Camp will announce when he streams though on there. I think so. At def_mel MEL TV. I'm really bad at social media, so and then here on Warcraft Reloaded, you can find me once a month.
Awesome. But yeah, and Def
Camp streams, my brother at twitch.tv/defcamp. Please go over and say hi. I'm usually on there a lot, so yeah.
And Def Camp did a new episode of Def Talk, and I actually guested on there with Mega Man, you, and Def, and so check that out. Is it on the YouTube?
It's on YouTube, and you reminded me, Bob. I have to put it on SoundCloud. Shit, I will do that now. Hopefully, by the time you listen to this, it'll be up there.
Awesome. So yeah, check it out. And SoundCloud, what he's sticking it on, it's going to put it on iTunes.
And everything.
So you can check that out audio wise. Def Talk, DEF Talk.
Yep.
All right, and you can find me on Twitter at blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can find my Twitch stream going actively quite a lot now at twitch.tv/blazingbob. All right, guys, we gave you a short one last week, but we gave you a banger this week. So take it easy. We'll see you the next time.
Yeah, unless we cut out half of it. Bye.
I'm not cutting any of it.
No, that was good.